Right. That's right. And we're going even for the bigger record. Welcome, everyone. We've got a lot to talk about on this Friday edition of the program. And I know it didn't seem like this a year and a half ago, but what's going on right now, this is what winning feels like. Winning. The left are in a complete meltdown mode. Michael Avenatti got 4 years added to his prison sentence. That's, of course, the Stormy Daniels creepy lawyer. This is winning. The Democrats are in desperation mode right now, as are the Republican establishment lowlifes too. And, we've got all this bad weather coming to Florida this weekend, but that's okay because we have the greatest president ever as a resident of this great state, Florida, and we're led by the greatest governor ever, Ron DeSantis. So I don't even fear the tropical storm that we may have over the weekend. I am not a weatherman and not an expert on weather, so I'm not giving weather reports, but I know nothing is going to happen over the weekend that we can't handle because Ron DeSantis runs Florida and President Trump is here to have his back. It's just a great time, and we're very, this is just an amazing time. And you know what people are going to find? They don't want to deal with this right now. I know it doesn't seem this way, but what people are going to find is that President Trump having 2 non-consecutive terms is going to be better than having, 2 non-consecutive. Did I say non-consecutive? Hey, I'm just started my, I'm a little late on the coffee this morning, so I'm not operating on all thrusters quite yet. We're going to find that President Trump having 2 non-consecutive terms is better than him having the 2 consecutive terms because this terrible suffering we're going through right now. When President Trump comes back in 2024, when the MAGA Republicans take over this year, they're going to have a mandate because everything's so screwed up. Yesterday afternoon, I went to the gas station with my wife. I filled up her car, and then I filled up my car and 2 of my 5-gallon drums of gas. I have 8 of them, but I only filled up 2 of them because it doesn't look like the weather's going to be that bad, but just in case, lose power a little bit. I don't want to lose my air conditioning in my refrigerator. So I got enough gas for the generator to power it up, but temporarily, which I don't think I'm going to need. But I got gas in my car. This is not including my wife's car because I didn't notice how much gas her car took. But she's got a little tiny car. My wife has a Mini Cooper. But my tank was about half full. I filled up my tank and 2 of my 5-gallon jugs of gas, and it was just under $100. And I think that's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. If we were in Trump gas price days, I would have filled up all my jugs of gas, all 8 of them. And if the storm didn't come, I just filled up my cars the next few weeks with them at home. No biggie. I mean, gas is too just out of control. And it's not just gasoline. It is everything. I mean, go to the grocery store and spend $150. You can carry everything in 2 hands now. Right? And that's even if you're shopping at Walmart. So, this and you look at what's going on. What are the priorities of the Biden regime? What are their priorities, right? Ukraine, because they got their money laundering operation going with Ukraine relief. And also illegals at the southern border. I think most of it, people that are coming to America illegally, I get it. America is the best country in the world. I get why people want to be here, but there has to be regulations. I've talked about this, not for a long time, but when I first was starting out, my first year or 2 in radio, I had a job opportunity. This was crazy. Not on the air. This was behind the scenes, running the board, being a board op. I had an opportunity at a radio station in London, England, to take a job, not on the air, off the air, doing technical things. Yeah, I did. I know. I met a couple people and I had a job offer in London, England. Luckily, I didn't take that job. Well, I couldn't take the job, is the point. But who knows what would have happened if I'd have gone to England. I never, would probably be. I'd be doing something, I don't know what right now or where. But I never went to England. And it's not because I didn't want to. I thought that was the coolest thing. But do you know why? Do you know why I didn't get that job in London, England? Because I'd be an immigrant. I'd be an immigrant, and they had a law at the time. They had a law at the time that before they could hire a foreigner, which would be me, a Yank, before they could hire a foreigner, they had to advertise the job, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 years, and not be able to find a qualified employee. And the station over there, I guess it must have been the BBC, because this was like 1990, had to be 90 or 91. And I didn't just get on a plane and go to London and say I'm here and I have a dream and you got to give me the job. I understood. I understood, so I stayed here in America. So I understand people wanting to come to the greatest country in the world, but my goodness. And I know a lot of people, when we talk about the southern border, they're like, well, you're a descendant of an immigrant. Sure, at some point. But there's a different thing going on today. Those of us that have been in this country our whole lives and many generations of Americans before us, when our great whatever grandparents, however many greats you have to add to it, when they came to America, it was another country. There was no social welfare system. There wasn't even a public education system to speak of, if at all. You didn't get, there's no WIC, no welfare, no Section 8 housing. You had to come here to work. So, that's the way it was. And of course, there was a lot of empty land and that needed to be worked. Much different situation than now. Now people come over here and they get the world handed to them. Remember, we got a call last week or the beginning of this week? I was talking about the high rent prices. A guy called in, his rent's going up a few $100s a month. He doesn't know how he's going to make it. He works with a guy who's newly into the country. I think he said from Brazil. This was this beginning of this week or late last week. I can't remember. And he said this guy's got his whole rent paid for by some government program, and he's been here just like a few months. And this guy's talking about, being homeless and living in his car because he doesn't get that program. There are a lot of problems. The number one problem facing America today is Biden. All these problems we're facing in this country are a direct result of his actions. Okay? And what we're suffering through could be fixed if you had a competent person in the government right now. But no one around Biden is competent. Like, the biggest problem we're facing now are economic issues, right? And I saw the other day, the president is being briefed and having a meeting with his economic advisors. Who are his economic advisors? You know what they are? They're guys and gals that have PhDs in economics. They went to college. They went from high school to college to graduate school. They got their PhDs, and then they got jobs as professors. They've never had a job outside the school. They've never worked in business, and they call themselves economists. Donald Trump is an economist, and the people he put around him, like Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, these are people that have had real-world experience. President Kennedy, when he first became president, the people around him in his cabinet were top, like President Trump's picks, were top people from the corporate world. McNamara, who the left just hate because he was Secretary of Defense during the war in Vietnam, Robert McNamara. Robert McNamara was the president and CEO of Ford Motor Company when he was tapped by President Kennedy to become the Secretary of Defense. And that's when Ford meant something, not like today. right? I mean, that's when it was like, wow, Ford Motor Company. He left being the president and CEO of Ford Motor Company to become the Secretary of Defense. Where'd they get this guy? Some critical race theory seminar at the Pentagon? Oh, you did come on, Austin, you got the job. You get my drift on that? There is the people that Biden is being briefed on, and the people that are in charge of our economy have never had a job outside of the university or government. They have no idea how the economy works. There's a great movie with Rodney Dangerfield that explains this. Back to School. Any of you guys remember Back to School? He was a businessman, never graduated high school, I don't think, or maybe he did. He went to college, bought his way into college, and he was taking business, and he had this snooty professor that had one of those fake British accents, those Boston Brahmin, or maybe the fake actor North Atlantic accent they used to have in the movies. And he was taking this business class, and there's some funny scenes about how this professor who thinks he's a PhD in business and economics doesn't know anything about business because he never had a job, but Rodney Dangerfield does. It's Back to School, great movie. That's the type of person around Biden. None of these problems that we're facing with the economy are going to be fixed because no one around him knows how to fix anything. Okay? That's just the way it is. It's going to get fixed, not by itself. It's going to get fixed because capitalist business people are going to get into survival mode, and they'll have to do things themselves to fix it. Biden and the people around him don't know how to fix anything. They won't even admit anything's broken. They're telling us we have economic growth going on. What are they talking about? Maybe in Ukraine there's economic growth. Now, on Fridays, we do have open phones on Friday, all right? So you are most definitely welcome to call in today on our open phone. I don't like to say open phone Fridays because that was Russia's thing, but we do have open phones on Friday. I got a lot of things I'm going to bring up because a lot's going on. But anything and everything you have on your mind, as long as it's relevant. Okay, I don't want to hear solutions to fleas on your cat or dog, but if it's relevant and it's something we haven't brought up, you're welcome to bring it up on today's program because it's open phones on Friday. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. We'll take our first break of the morning, and when we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. Oh man, I've just scratched this. I'm going to get into this business about The View yesterday. The View are calling for the Republican Party to be abolished. Yeah, we'll get to that when we get back. And I will get into Biden's address to the nation, trying to take away our Second Amendment. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Back right after this.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a Medicare advocate at the touch of a button? You can for less than $1 a day with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will assist you with
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe.
Plan benefits, Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now online at iwilladvocates.com or call them directly, 954-345-1214. No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642 or online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody that tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of
Good morning, Michael.
near the Coral Springs.
Welcome to our members. If you'd like to become a member, click that join button. It's next to the subscribe button.
906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north
Yeah,
of
pina
Coast
colada
Road.
sounds nice.
561
After the show.
5009. 561 237 5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Listen to the Steve Kane
There we go.
Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. 21 minutes after the hour. Okay, so The View, a lot of, you hear me from time to time. I'll play a clip from the Coven of The View, and that's what it is, a coven. I don't watch The View, all right? I do not watch The View. I don't want anyone, I'm going to play a clip from The View, but I don't want any of you to think I waste my time watching The View. If something interesting or bizarre happens on The View, I'll see it mentioned in a story online, or I'll catch some comment on Twitter or something, and then I'll pull up the audio. I do not watch The View. And I bet you very few people watch that show. Most people, I think, are like me. They'll see a clip online. But, of course, they don't like Republicans over there. So listen to this. This is Sunny Hostin. She's on The View with Whoopi and Joy Behar and some other ladies that joined their coven.
Republicans get in lockstep.
Wesley, new
against
member. Thank you,
gun safety
Wesley.
Because all
Welcome.
they care about is power.
That's right.
And so I do not think that you can, and all everyone's talking about, even with red flag laws, is about temporarily taking guns away. It's
Temporarily taking guns away. How do you, hey, Sonny, she's a lawyer. Can you tell me a right or freedom? I don't know, a right and a freedom, are they the same thing? Tell me a right and a freedom that the government took away that they gave back. Can you think of enough to take up all 5 fingers on my hand? A freedom the government took away temporarily that they've given back to us. How many of those can you think of?
get in lockstep against gun safety because all they care about is power.
That's right.
And so I do not think that you can, and all everyone's talking about, even with red flag laws, is about temporarily taking guns away.
Oh.
It's a minor solution. The solution here is, as Whoopi has said all
Not a
week,
minor solution.
get the AR-15s off the planet, really, in my view.
Right.
And it's just get rid of bump stocks, get rid of these weapons of war, and it's not going to happen with Republicans in power. So I'm now with you, Joy. Get rid of Republicans, get rid of the party. The party as it stands now, because it's the party of white supremacy, it's the party of insurrectionists, it's the party of massacres at this point. It's the party that you can't trust.
Okay, you can't trust them. Abolish. You got to get rid of the Republican Party. They said if we have one party rule, it'll be a perfect paradise. That's what she just said. And she's a lawyer. She's a lawyer. What kind of lawyer is that? We just need one party. On Memorial Day, on Monday, I uploaded a video. Over the weekend, last weekend, I went to a cemetery down the street from Mar-a-Lago, up in Palm Beach, where there's Confederate soldiers buried. You should check out my YouTube video on that, by the way. And I showed went through these graves, it was fascinating, very interesting, of Confederate soldiers who were buried there. All of those Confederate soldiers were Democrats. And that was an insurrection against the federal government of the United States by the Democrats. Okay? That was an insurrection. Not opposing them. Disagreeing with them is not an insurrection. And by the way, either was January 6th. How many people have been charged with insurrection and convicted from that? How many? Can you tell me? That's right. But they're going to continue to say that. We didn't outlaw Democrats after the Civil War. And that was a very violent and very true insurrection where over 500,000 Americans died in the Democrat insurrection. We should stop calling it the U.S. Civil War, the war between the states. We should call it the Democrat insurrection. Just get rid of, if we abolish the Republican Party, everything. Rush used to always talk about how the Democrats believe if we would all just bend to their will, our country would be a utopian society. Yeah. Now, I'm a gun owner. I've been a gun owner my whole life. I do not have an AR-15. I've never fired an AR-15. And I don't know too much about AR-15s, really. Other than it's not really that powerful of a gun. These AR-15s are a small caliber rifle, and they're made to look more menacing by pieces of plastic that people add to them to make them look like a machine gun, and they're not. But I learned something about the AR-15 today that I did not know. Armalite is a company. Armalite first developed the AR-15 in the late 1950s. The way they're talking, this gun has been around, the AR-15 has been around for almost 70 years. Armalite first developed the AR-15 in the late 1950s as a military rifle, but had limited success. Yeah, because it's not powerful enough and all that stuff. In 1959, they sold the AR-15 design to Colt. So, I don't know why the AR-15 is becoming, the gun they're talking about, but they act as if the AR-15 is some new weapon. I had no idea that it had been around since the 1950s. Did you? Did any of you guys know that? I had no idea. I thought it was relatively new. Oh, the M16 is the military version of the AR-15. So why all of a sudden is this gun that's been around since the 50s the biggest problem in the world? Everything with the American legal system is legal precedent. That's why you hear, whenever you're watching a court drama and the movies are on television, they cite court cases. If they were to ban, just the AR-15, nothing else. If they were to ban the AR-15 and they had that legal precedent set and they were able to accomplish that, what would be next? They'd pick something else. Then they'd pick something else. You can't start that slippery slope. Biden's talking about bringing back that assault weapons ban. And, I remember that. And this was, I remember a friend of mine was at a Star Trek convention in 81, 82, and they were selling posters that's for the final original Star Wars movie, Star Wars: The Revenge of the Jedi. And he said he saw that poster and it was $6, and he thought about buying it and he didn't. And then a couple hours later, it was announced that Lucasfilm had changed the name from The Revenge of the Jedi to The Return of the Jedi. It was because Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan title's too similar. He said he went by later and the poster was being sold for $400. And he's like, man, I could have it for $6. And I can only imagine what it would be worth today. And I remember going to gun shows before and after the so-called assault weapons ban. A friend of mine, he had an AK-47, and he paid less than $400 for an AK-47. Oh man, and that was we took that AK to the gun range, an outdoor gun range, and we were firing off like having a great time. And this guy came up to us who we found out was a veteran, and he was getting a little freaked out. He was telling us that's what the North Vietnamese used to use, and he hadn't heard the sound of the AK-47 round since he was in Nam, and then we were talking about it and everything. But anyway, my friend paid less than $400 for an AK-47, and then the assault weapon. Now again, this is the 90s, early 90s, so money was worth more then, especially these days. But less than $400 for an AK-47. And he was telling me I should buy one, and I wanted to, and I didn't. And then we went to the gun show at War Memorial Auditorium after the so-called ban, the assault weapons ban, and a gun that was selling for about $380, the AK-47, was now selling for over $1,000 more, $1,400, $1,500, $1,800. Big adjustment, right? Give me a break. These things do nothing. These things do nothing. They just drive up the cost. I was reading several articles today. There's another one today. Gun sales are up 200%, 300%, 400% this week. The gun manufacturers' stocks are all up. Nothing puts more guns out on the street and in the homes of Americans than Democrats talking about gun control. It's almost like the Democrats work for the gun manufacturers, because they sell more guns and more ammunition by far when you have Democrats in power. It's crazy, but it's true. Go to your local gun store today. Look at the inventory of both guns and ammo. It's going to be short. Stuff's flying off the shelves as soon as it gets delivered. Guns and ammo. If the Democrats wanted fewer guns to be purchased by people, they'd stop talking about gun control. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Louisiana.
Hey, Louisiana.
Hey, man. First of all, this weekend, I just hope y'all get a little rain. I hope y'all don't get nothing worse than a little rain.
Yeah, I do too.
Hey, first of all, you was talking about the AR-15s, that they're not powerful weapons. I would love for you to go to I can't pronounce the name right, Uvalde in Texas, and go to those babies' funerals and let them open up those coffins and see those babies' bodies. And tell that to that mother and that father that's sitting on that front row. Oh, it's not a powerful weapon. Tell it to them.
What I mean by that is there are guns that are much more destructive than that.
But I don't know. Sometimes I wonder about y'all, about you. It's like you sit up there on this country so divided. All the Democrats is the Democrats.
Why is it my fault we're divided and not you? Why don't you just agree with us and not be divided?
Why can't you disagree with me?
Well, because we have diversity of opinion in America. Free speech?
We do. But sometimes I would never say something that's not true. I hope to say nothing that's not true.
Well, I don't lie either. There's a difference between, there's a difference between being lying and being mistaken. Like if I'm taking a test, if I'm taking a math test, and I answer a math problem wrong, I didn't lie, right? I just got the answer wrong. So you can be wrong. It doesn't mean you're lying. Not that I'm saying I'm wrong about anything, but liberals confuse those things.
But you sit up there. Sometimes you get on your show and you deliberately say stuff that's not right.
For example, tell me a lie I've told on the radio. A lie.
It's like I'm not saying sometimes you misinform people.
Give me an example. You say I lie. Give me an example of a lie that I've told on the air.
You misinform people. Like, for example, by Biden in the White House with how you call it, the black sit. That's not true.
Yeah, there was an article in Politico about it this week. Politico is a liberal publication, and they wrote an article, and the people that left the White House are calling it Blaxit. I didn't come up with Blaxit.
But you misleading, they need for Biden.
21 black people left the White House employment over discrimination, according to liberal Politico.
That's not true, Brian.
How do you know it's not true? The people that left said so.
Article, Brian. Read the article, bro.
Listen, we had this conversation. Listen, go get the article and read it to me on the air. And explain and read to me from the article the truth as opposed to what I'm saying about it.
In the article there it says.
No. Go and pull the article up online. You know what? Listen, I will put you on. No. The people that left said that there was no promotion opportunities for blacks in the Biden White House as compared to white promotion opportunities, and their opinions were not welcomed. The White House put out a spin and said, no, this people leave for better jobs and this is normal. That wasn't the people that left.
My opinion is not welcome on my job. You think the bosses get what I say? Whether you're black or white, they don't.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, you work for a jerk like Joe Biden too. Maybe,
Well, I don't work for a jerk like that.
But what they said is that what they are saying is there are not promotion. Speak the truth?
No, you misinform people.
I am not misinforming people. I'm telling you things. No.
That's just like yesterday. Just like today. You're talking about food prices. Food prices always been high.
Not this high.
It's always been high. Bro.
No. Food prices are up, depending on the item, an average of about 25-30% across the board right now.
People are not buying food.
Well, you have to have food to live. You can't live without food.
Don't complain about it. It is what it is.
Don't complain about high price of food. Are you kidding me?
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
What you gonna do about it? You gonna buy it because you need to eat?
Vote no. This is what you're gonna do. Vote for Trump-endorsed congressional candidates and vote for President Trump in 2024. That's what you do.
Blue ticket, full blue ticket, brother.
Really? Why? Tell me why.
Because I want to. Why you vote? Because I love.
No. Tell me what the Democrats are going to do to fix our problems.
Explain because they're gonna get that sorry ass Marjorie Taylor Greene out of office. That sit up there talk.
Okay, listen, I got to run, Louisiana. Thank you for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our bottom of the hour break rather late and be right back.
Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Stacy from DSOB. This is in reference to Champagne Automotive. I went over there. They're wonderful. I have a Kia Optima Eco Hybrid. When I called, it needed service. I didn't want to bring it to the dealership because they would charge me through the roof. And basically, when I did call, they said bring it in the next day. He's amazing. He did everything. He didn't overcharge me. He went through my car, and I would recommend anybody to go to him. He's absolutely amazing.
Well, Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, they do great work, and I want to thank you for calling. And I learned something about Champagne Automotive Repair from you in this call. I did not know that they actually did repairs on hybrid vehicles.
What had happened was when I brought it to the dealership, they were like, well, we want to do this, we want to do that. And when I heard about Champagne Automotive, I called when I got there, and I said, he goes, well, I already ordered the oil filter.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And so I dropped it off. I don't have many people to take me back home. And so he ordered Uber for me.
Wow.
Yes.
That's service. Thank you for the call.
Steve Kane Show.
And anyone else out there, Champagne Automotive Repair, their prices are great.
Hold on, you'll be next. Steve Kane Show.
That your vehicle doesn't need. Their number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And what's your name, caller?
My name is Stacy, and thank you very much, Champagne Automotive. And thank you very much, Brian and Steve.
For Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Berta from Texas.
Hey, Texas. What's up?
I just heard the last caller, and I'm fuming. First of all, my first question to Miss Louisiana. I also lived in Louisiana, so I know what it's like. Prices of food is way higher. Do you actually pay for the food? Or does government say you don't actually notice the prices, you just put it in your cart? The government actually pays it for you. Number one, the AR-15 is actually lighter than some pistols. Some people like it. I like it. Like, I'm so glad you looked up into it, Brian.
Yeah, AR-15's not for me. I was at a gun store not too long ago, and I looked at the AR-15. It's not for me. It's not my kind of gun.
Okay, so tell me how the new rifles look like.
I guess I'm just more of a traditionalist. I went to the gun store to buy a shotgun, and I wanted your Remington's like gone now, but I wanted the old shotgun that's got the wood pump and the wood, you know what I'm talking about, and they don't have that now. They're all silver, everything's black. They got all the guns now.
Turn. Cosmetic.
Yeah, they're the same guns, but there's a new cosmetic thing that I think is because of the video games. They're modeling the guns after the video games. But, those types of weapons aren't for me.
So I totally understand, and I understand, but what right does anybody have to take my rifle away from me?
No, they don't. There's the, no, I'm just talking about my preference. It's like car shopping,
I personally like it. I'm a woman. It's easier for me to carry when I'm out because I live in 27 acres of acres in Texas. So you got hogs, you got coyotes and everything. You just put my AR, strap it to the back. It's much lighter than my pistol.
Yeah, see, I don't hunt. I don't take guns out of the house unless I'm going to go target shooting, and I just want a very basic, classic looking 12 gauge just to keep by the bed at night, And
but that's your choice, and I actually respect that. But my choice is different, Brian.
Well, that's okay. Biden said the Second Amendment's not absolute. Here's the thing that they don't teach kids in school. We are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, right? Our rights, our liberties in the Constitution, and are given to us by God, not by Supreme Court justices or government. Yeah, and the reason that is because the founding fathers understood, because they were dealing with the king, that if your rights are given to you by men can take them away. If they are rights given to us by God, only God can take them away.
Correct.
That's why it's that way. And when they
liberals understand that.
Well, first off, they don't believe in God. They're godless. They're atheist. Okay. That's part of it.
Abolish the Constitution. Take away our rights little by little.
Well, let me tell you something. After the COVID lockdowns, they thought they had a hard time on gun control then. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's not going. They can't even. No, it's not.
Same thing, but I think this is getting.
But I will tell you though, one thing I learned the other day that I did not know. And I don't agree with this. You're in Texas, and there's no waiting period. I can walk into Texas and walk out with a gun. With that, now in Florida, you can do that if you have a concealed weapon permit. There's no waiting period. If you don't have a concealed weapons permit, there's a 5-day waiting period. And I support. I know that's a restriction. A lot of people don't like that. I support the waiting period because there's a cooling off period if there's a domestic dispute or something. So I do not like the idea that someone can go in and walk out with a gun like that. I think that's unless they have a permit, a concealed weapons permit, or something.
Look, I have my concealed weapons permit from Florida. Okay, since I moved from Florida, so it's good here in Texas.
Yes.
I didn't worry about it because I didn't need a permit to carry in Texas anymore, right?
Really, is Texas open carry? Now, Governor DeSantis says that before he leaves office, we will have open carry in Florida. I have never gotten a concealed weapons permit for 2 reasons. Okay, the first one is the way that I dress. It's hard for me to conceal a weapon, because I live in a liberal part of the state. If the outline of the gun is showing, if the right side of my shirt is right, it's no longer concealed under the law.
In Miami, many times because it showed.
Yeah, because of our warm weather, I don't dress in a way. And the other reason is this. Okay, I am a conservative Republican MAGA radio talk show host. If I was out on the street and I had to use my gun in self-defense, chances are I would be defending myself against a liberal. What would happen to me if in self-defense I'm out on the street and I shoot and kill someone who's black? I'd be done. And I know a lot of people say, well, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I would be done. I would be facing the death penalty.
My husband and I were talking about this. What happened to Uvalde? Can you imagine if it was a John Smith, white, blue eyes, let's say Texan, making the shoot? Can you imagine 98% of the people were Hispanic? How they would have turned it if this kid wasn't Hispanic?
Oh, if he was white? Oh, it would be a whole racial thing. La Raza would be camped out in Uvalde and everything else.
It would have been worse. But no, it wasn't. It didn't fit the narrative. What fits the narrative is banning the guns. And we've already wrote and sent an email to the Texas legislation here and explained many reasons why we left the great state of Florida then, our fears then, and what we saw and what we personally saw with an attorney friend of ours. Okay, an attorney friend of ours with a, upset ex-girlfriend made up some bullshit.
Oh, no, you can't. Oh, my goodness. She's getting excited, using one of the words you can't use on the radio. Good caller, though, from Texas. Oh, my goodness. First time I used the dump today. This has been a busy week with the dump, this week and last week. All right, it's time for a break anyway. Callers on hold. I can't take any calls till the delay builds back up. If you're on hold, we'll take our break. Come back with your calls right after this break. Our number toll free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631.
You've heard Steve Kane talk about how...
I'm so glad you're fast on the trigger because...
I've never missed one.
I was putting hot water in my coffee.
Well, when I worked at 940, I ran the board, and Steve and I were there, and we had this news guy that did the news live in studio, and I went to the men's room, and he screwed up, and he said, he misspoke, and he said, did I just effing say that? Right into the mic. And I was in the men's room. I couldn't get back to, they had a speaker in there. I heard it. And I didn't dump it in time. And I never missed a dump out. He blamed me.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but I said, me, you said it. Yeah, but you're supposed to dump it. But,
And you're supposed to be...
Did I just effing say that? Right into the mic, he said it. Oh, my gosh. It was like, oh my gosh. I didn't get in trouble for it.
You weren't even present. How could you be in trouble for it?
Well, you're supposed to be present.
Well, you're also supposed to be able to relieve yourself every once in a while.
Well, that's why we have the 2 delays. Nobody can be in there the whole time. Were you going to be chained to the board? Oh my gosh. John M. was that guy's name.
I knew that you had enough experience to be able to do that, and going back to setting up this studio,
yeah,
I made sure there was a dump in here because there wasn't.
Oh, really?
HSR never used it.
Because we had one in Coral Springs, too. We had the 2 delays then.
We first visited with them. Steve began the treatment and everything else. The White House Medical Center, which really impressed me a lot.
I couldn't believe when that guy said that. Right into the mic. What a dick. I mean, that was... I think he was pissed that I was in the men's room not listening to his news report, you know?
Yeah, from your previous stories, he had a problem.
Yeah.
Besides the problem with you guys, he had a problem.
Yeah.
And it's a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. 754-222-6642 and online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Oh man, full board of calls. This is awesome. This is awesome. 10 minutes before 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go back to the phones. I'm taking them in the order in which they were received, the best that I can. All right? And the delay has built back up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay, Joseph from New Jersey.
Okay, you got to speak. You're a little muffled, like maybe your mouth is too close to the phone.
Joseph from New Jersey.
Okay, Joseph from New Jersey. What's up, New Jersey?
Yeah, so I have two things to talk about. One, the lady from Louisiana, sounds like she's like some sort of advanced technology developed by the Democrats. Seems like she's an NPC.
That's a man. Louisiana is a man. Louisiana is a man.
The NPC from
I think
Louisiana, yeah, seems like the person doesn't need any food.
Yeah.
Second, earlier you were saying something about chipping away on your gun rights. Here's the thing, though. If someone takes $100 from your wallet, you would notice it, right? Now, if someone takes $1 from your wallet for the next 100 days, you wouldn't notice that you were missing $100. That's pretty much what the Democrats are trying to say. I've been trying to do. Third, the Democrats are not really against guns, but are against law-abiding citizens owning guns. Think about it.
Well, no, what liberals, this is what it is. Liberals are about control. And they believe that having the Second Amendment to the Constitution stops them from having total control. You know, like, I'll give an example. The other day, I played a clip on the show the other day. It was either from MSNBC or CNN. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. One of these liberal jerks, you know. And they're out there trying to scare people. There are more guns in America than there are people, they said. Well, that shows you how safe guns are. There's, 350 million people in America? And there's only incident here and there? And I think the number, because I have many guns, okay? Some of them belong to my grandfather and are 100 years old and look like the day they were bought. Guns have a long shelf life if you treat them nicely, okay? And I think there's probably as many as 1 billion guns in America, to tell you the truth, okay? Because when people get a gun, you don't throw it away. You keep it. When you pass on, you leave it to your kids or something, and you know. So I think there's probably close to 1 billion with a B guns in America. There are so many guns in this country, and there really are not that many gun incidents. If you subtracted I understand we've got isolated incidents like Uvalde and Parkland. I get it, but if you subtract Chicago, Los Angeles, and these other liberal cities, if you subtract from the gun death statistics those liberal cities that have strict gun control laws, we have a very low gun murder rate, very low, one of the lowest in the world.
Yeah, another thing I don't understand. Why aren't the Republicans pointing out that the Democrats aren't calling for their security guards to be to give away their guns?
Security guards? They don't want to have armed security guards?
I'm saying, why did the Republicans don't point out that the Democrats are calling for the regular citizens to be disarmed, but not their own security, their own guards? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we've got this tropical storm, which we may or may not get. You know, it's hurricane season. And, you know, one of my things today, I know everything's cool, but I just want to make sure that my personal protection weapons at home, that I have ammo and everything in case we lose electricity. You know, you gotta be able to protect yourself at home.
Pretty much what Democrats doesn't want you to do, be able to protect yourself.
Well, you know, listen, this is the thing. Police are an after the fact event, okay? You know, you're victimized by a crime, and then you call the police. You know, so you can't depend. Look at Uvalde, huh? You can't depend on the police to save you or your family or your children. You've got to be able to protect yourself. You know, one of the biggest problem is that liberals will not allow. The NRA has an educational program. They have many educational programs, but one is particularly tailored to young children, the Eddie Eagle program, that is a perfect curriculum for schools. And they will not allow gun education and gun safety classes in schools. That would curb some of this violence, or curb it. Not curve it, curb it.
Oh, but didn't they had a gun class when they're in the 50s?
I've heard of before my time, but I've heard people like Steve's age talk about having gun clubs in school.
That time. How was the gun crime during that time, though?
Oh, it was low.
Another thing, they're not even concentrating on the medication that kids are being given. There's medication that alters person's personality. Some of them even have like
the biggest problem is this. Okay, Steve Bannon I saw Steve Bannon talk about this on the War Room a few days back. He was quoting someone in an article, and I missed it. I would love to have found this article, but I haven't even. What Steve Bannon was talking about is these young guys today, the age of the school shooters, they spend their whole lives in their bedroom playing video games and watching porn on the computer, and they have no interaction. Everything's fake to them, and they really don't have any empathy for other humans because they don't even view them as real because everything is so virtual.
Heavily medicated with some sort of medication, either legal or illegal.
Yeah, well, probably true, yeah. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Great call. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Andrea. Hey, what's up?
I just want to say to Louisiana, you should actually be ashamed of yourself because you just did exactly what Beto O'Rourke did. You stood on the grave of slain children to prove your democratic squawking point. By that person, because I think that, I'm not sure if Louisiana is a man or a woman, but by saying to you, why don't you go down to Uvalde and see the damage that
Steve Kane Show.
That gun did? That's exactly the same thing
Barry, is this you?
did, and it's disgusting.
Hello?
It's
Oh, wait, hold on, Barry.
And shame on you. It's time to bring back public shaming. That's a good step in the right direction. For a politician, for anybody who is believing in this insanity, it's time to call it out and not be afraid to be called a racist, not be afraid to be called a transphobic, not be afraid to be called a homophobic. The time for compromise now with people, especially people like Louisiana, is done. It's time for public shaming. And you know what?
Well,
good
yeah.
for that woman in Texas. Good for her.
Well, listen, Andrea, I gotta run for a break, but thanks so much and some good commentary. The rest of you on hold, stand by. We'll take our break here for the top of the hour. When we're out of the break, we'll get back to your calls. Very busy phones today, and it is open phones on Fridays at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. But first, we're going to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group with us early today. Barry Siegel, what do you have for us this morning?
Well, good morning, Brian. I was thinking we do so much to plan in our lives. We plan when it comes to our investments, and we're all concerned about, oh my gosh, some market volatility, things are going up, they're going down, too much risk. We talk about protecting ourselves from taxes and hiring good accountants and tax people to make sure that we don't pay more than our fair share. We get all the deductions we're entitled to. We plan to protect ourselves with insurance, and we work our whole lives, and we plan to have a good career and do everything right and safe. And then the biggest threat that we have in life comes along, and that's the cost of care as we grow older. And so if you or your spouse, or maybe it's your parents, are getting older and need care, the big question is, well, how are we going to pay for it? And that cost can be debilitating to your finances, because the biggest thing we don't want to deal with is running out of money before we pass away. We don't want to become a burden on our families. So there's really 3 key ways to pay for this type of care, this long-term care. And one is with the insurance, the long-term care insurance. And if you have that, fantastic. That will cover you. It may not cover you for life, so you may still have a need to protect yourself. Secondly, you can spend down your own assets, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid. And then third, there's planning using government benefits that can pay most of those costs, but you have to qualify. And a lot of times people, if you have too much money, you certainly can't qualify. If you have very little money and very little income, you can qualify on your own. But for most people, Brian, most people fall in the middle where they have too much to qualify, but they're not wealthy and need to plan to be able to qualify. So that's what we help people do at the Siegel Law Group. Help people who work their whole lives, who've saved, who've done all the right things, and now they happen to become ill. We can help them. Many people qualify for these benefits, even if they think there's too much in the income, too much in assets. Those are the people we help.
You know, you have an entire team at the Siegel Law Group, Attorney Barry Siegel, that specialize in Medicaid planning. And they know this. This is what they do. And one thing you brought up a couple weeks back that I had never considered before, some people have long-term care insurance, but not enough. And that never occurred to me. I don't think that occurs to most people that even have it, that they don't have enough possibly, right?
So, long-term care insurance, they used to have these lifetime policies, but you can't get those anymore. And
wow.
Typically, there's either going to be a dollar limit or a limit of 2 or 3 years. And so people could run out of that long-term care benefit, and now they're in the same boat they would have been if they didn't have any.
Well, that's awful. Yeah. With years of premiums, and then when you need it, wow. Well, listen, none of these things have to happen, because if you call the Siegel Law Group, it's a completely free consultation. If you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio, and they're going to work all this out for you. The number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. Now, the Siegel Law Group have offices throughout South Florida, throughout Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County, but because of Zoom and video, and everything that that COVID brought us, no matter where you are in the state of Florida, they can meet with you online as well. So if you're within the state of Florida, from the Panhandle to Key West and everywhere in between, the Siegel Law Group can help you too. Again, the number, toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week.
Okay, have a great weekend.
All right, take care. We'll be back with the second hour after this.
The Talk of South Florida, 95.3, 96.9, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG Live station.
Brian Craig here with a huge announcement from the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow, Mike Lindell. And MyPillow are now offering a BOGO extravaganza on multiple MyPillow items. Right now at MyPillow.com with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at checkout, buy one, get free pricing on MyPillow bed sheets, Giza Elegance MyPillows, the 6-piece MyPillow towel set, and the MyPillow Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows, and so much more. Just go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener specials. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, or call toll-free 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. 4642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guests alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, the longest-running radio show in Florida, on the air since 1977. This year celebrating 45 years on the air. Now, Steve Kane with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Oh, man. Lots going on. If you're on hold, stand by. Stand by. We will go back to our phones momentarily. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. And on Fridays, of course, it is open phones on Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind that is relevant. It doesn't have to be something we've brought up. You're welcome to call in about today. All right, but before I go back to the phones, Liz Cheney has released her first campaign ad. Oh, my goodness. Liz Cheney. Now, of course, the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, whose house is in the listening range of this radio station signal. Oh, man. President Trump had that rally in Wyoming last week, which was just a beautiful, spectacular rally, and we find out Liz Cheney's 30 points behind. So, so she's getting down. So she's released her first campaign ad, and let me share it with you. This is Liz Cheney's first campaign ad in Wyoming.
I'm voting for Liz Cheney, and here's why.
As a mom, I want a statesman, not a politician. I want someone who is...
You want a statesman, not a politician? Well, first off, she's not a statesman, because that's a man. These are the idiots that support Liz Cheney in her TV spot. She's a stateswoman, okay, not a statesman. And not a politician? She's a legacy. She only holds office because her father, Dick Cheney, was Vice President of the United States and Secretary of Defense. And he was also a congressman from Wyoming way back. Oh, my goodness.
I'm voting for Liz Cheney, and here's why.
As a mom, I want a statesman, not a politician. I want someone who is civil and serious, and someone my children can look up to.
Okay, now that someone my children can look up to. Oh boy, it's going to take an hour and a half to get through this 60-second spot of Liz Cheney's. But when they say someone my children can look up to, that's a jab at President Trump. Okay? You can't look up to... Are you kidding me? Think about this. President Trump, $10 billion of net worth. He took a $1 million loan from his father, which he paid back, and turned into this, what he's got now. That's amazing. And he paid back. How many of you borrowed money from your parents and paid them back? How many of you loaned money to your children and they paid you back? No one does. Except Donald Trump. That's something you can look up to. But anyway, let's get back to the Liz Cheney first TV spot.
I'm voting for Liz Cheney, and here's why.
As a mom, I want a statesman, not a politician. I want someone who is civil and serious, and someone my children can look up to.
She stands up for Wyoming farmers and ranchers against crippling regulation.
So many people today claim to be a constitutional conservative. Liz truly is one.
Liz Cheney has always fought hard for veterans like me.
Really? She fought hard for veterans? I'm going to lose my breakfast here. Liz Cheney stood up for veterans? She is in power. She holds office today because her father took part in a weapons of mass destruction lie to the American people and the world and sent young men and women off to war for 20 years. Many of them died. Many of them are missing body parts and everything else. How nice. I'm so glad that Liz Cheney is supportive of all the veterans that are maimed because her father lied to the world about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Yeah, that's a class act. That's just who you want. That's just who you look up to.
Be a constitutional conservative. Liz truly is one.
Liz Cheney has always fought hard for veterans like me.
She will continue to fight for my right to recreational access on our public lands in Wyoming.
Oh, that's a big thing. Oh, yeah, that's a big issue. Recreational access to public lands so he can drive his ATV around. That's a good, yeah.
We are very lucky to have Liz as a strong advocate for the oil and gas industry and for the state of Wyoming.
Okay, Liz is and I have not listened to this ad, by the way. This is the first time I've listened to this ad. I just downloaded it. I'm listening to it cold with you guys. He said that she's a... Let me play that last part back. Hold on. Let me play the last part back.
Recreational access on our public lands in Wyoming.
We are very lucky to have Liz as a strong advocate for the oil and gas industry and for the state of Wyoming.
Okay, we are lucky to have Liz as a strong advocate for the oil and gas industry. She voted for Joe Biden. She voted for Hillary Clinton. She voted for Joe Biden. When Donald Trump was president, the United States was the #1 producer of oil on the planet, producing more than Saudi Arabia. She voted for a man who shut all that down. How is that supporting the oil industry in Wyoming or anywhere else in the United States? What is the guy talking about?
We are very lucky to have Liz as a strong advocate for the oil and gas industry and for the state of Wyoming.
She has the courage to do the right thing, to stand up to bullies. Liz?
Oh, there you go. There's another one. That's another remark to President Trump. She can stand up to bullies. Looks like she's the bully to me. She's got this kangaroo committee. Okay.
State of Wyoming.
She has the courage to do the right thing, to stand up to bullies.
Liz has worked to provide high-quality telehealth services throughout Wyoming.
She knows that we need to protect and conserve the special things about Wyoming, our working ranches, our open space, our rivers and streams.
Join me in voting for Liz Cheney on August 16th.
I'm Liz Cheney, and I approve this message.
All right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Dick Cheney's daughter here. Beyond what Liz Cheney is involved in now, which is working with the Democrats against President Trump, and that's going to be her life's mission. When she loses in Wyoming, she'll be doing that even more. But Liz Cheney did something many years ago, and because of this, I couldn't have respect for this woman, even if she was not doing what she's doing now to our great President Trump. When she was first running, Dick Cheney's other daughter is gay. Right? I cannot remember her name. We had her on the show. I cannot remember her name. Dick Cheney's lesbian daughter. When she was running for Congress the first time, Liz Cheney, the press, they hated her because of her father at the time. Now the press love Liz Cheney because she's a Trump hater. But they hated Liz Cheney because of her father. Remember the media called Dick Cheney Darth Vader back then, and a war criminal and all this stuff. They were going after her for having a sister who's gay when she was against gay rights. And they wanted her to give an opinion on her sister's gaydom. Liz Cheney focus grouped and opinion polled this, and it took her a long time before she came out and sided in favor of the love of her sister, her gay sister. She had to get a focus group together and do polling to decide whether or not she was going to condemn her sister or embrace and love her sister because she's gay. What kind of person does that to their own sister? Not someone that you look up to. Remember the woman that wants her kids? I don't look up to someone like that. She's got to get a focus group together to decide if she is going to publicly on the national stage condemn their own sister who did nothing other than be gay. She's a disgusting person, Liz Cheney. Just based on that, forgetting about all this other crap she's involved in. All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, Liz Cheney, all she needed to do for that ad is to say, and I love President Trump. And this way, the whole thing will be 100% lies.
Yeah.
She's only been on 30 points. I'm surprised she's not worse than that. Nobody likes her. But she's going to lose, and she should save her money and stop wasting it on these damn ads because she has zero chance to win anything.
Yeah.
I'm hoping anyway. Anyway, the other thing is I was heard that Peter Navarro is suing the committee because she's not supposed to be on the committee.
You know, I had Peter Navarro on my podcast. I don't know if you heard the interview. It was a very good interview I did with Peter Navarro. See, that's why you guys should all listen to my podcast. Oh, you missed that. That was a good one. Yeah, I've got Peter Navarro's cell phone number now.
Oh man, you should have him call in or do it.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy, Peter Navarro. Yeah.
Man, I mean, suing the committee because they're illegally putting on the Republicans when supposed to, that Nancy Pelosi picks instead of the Republicans picking them. But this is a terrible thing. Hopefully he'll win this case. He said he's going to go, I think this week is going to go, next week is going to go to trial.
Yeah, yeah. All right, hey Doug, appreciate the call. Mike in Louisiana.
Yeah, and his, Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney, of course, I'm listening to the ad as you're going through it, and I'm saying, okay, it's going to take him forever to get through this ad because every line every line in that ad you could almost stop and have commentary on it because she's lying. That ad is nothing but a lie. It's nothing but a lie.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Now, as far as the gun control thing, think about this. And I know the Democrats do not like history. They think history begins with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the first salvo fired off in the gun control thing? And it wasn't really a law. It was more of a thing. It happened after what was commonly known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and it made it untenable for people to own a Tommy gun. Of course, we know what was going on with that.
Well, the Tommy gun machine, those machine guns, like you see in the old movies. Those were actually, the Democrats. The Democrats were behind the Tommy gun. The Democrats had some corrupt deal. I forget who was the general they named the Tommy gun after. Anybody remember? But the Tommy gun was made for soldiers in the American Army that were going off to Europe for the First World War, and we weren't in the war very long in the First World War. It ended, and there was this mass surplus of Tommy guns, and the government sold them. They sold them like remember they used to have those Army surplus stores all over the place? They sold them like as U.S. government Army surplus, and people were buying them.
Was the criminals were buying them because, remember, I mean, it all happened in Chicago, and it was like that was the gun of choice for the criminals that were killing each other off to the point of what happened with the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and these guns. I mean, we both know that they don't want to solve the gun issue. The Democrats, they just want the issue. They never want to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So they can bluster on about wanting gun control.
You know what? I don't have an AR-15, but one of Steve's sons has an AR-15, and he bought all those pieces that you snap together to put on it, all those plastic pieces. And Steve said when you take all the plastic pieces off, it looks like a tiny little thing. I think, the Republicans, if they started showing people what the AR-15 looked like without all the plastic pieces added to it, it's like, if people would be like, that's what all the big deal is about, that little thing?
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, eventually become the M16. And remember, McNamara, who you basically, he said that at one point that the Democrats hated at the time, the press and the Democrats hated at the time, he was the one that said, okay, the M16 is going to be the weapon of choice for the
military. Yeah.
And, that was McNamara, and that's the thing.
And machine guns are not illegal. There is, you can go to any gun range and rent a machine gun and take it out to the gun range. And, there's there's a gun range in Orlando called, oh man, it's called Machine Gun something. It's a gun range all about machine guns, and you can go there and just walk in, no background check or anything, and you can go to the gun ranges here, and no background check, nothing, and rent a fully automatic M16 and take it out on the range. And by the way, what's stopping you from walking out with it? Because you got a fully automatic M16. So this thing that machine guns are illegal they're talking about, that is not true.
Right. What it made it is untenable for people to own them. It's not illegal, but it's untenable, you know.
Untenable.
Yeah.
How about working on that crack epidemic, Biden? How about getting that crack out of there, you know? Yeah.
Well, if he gets the crack out of there, he'd have to work on his son because his son is a you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know this story. You know, these reporters yesterday, they're giving Jean-Pierre all these questions about the economy. I didn't hear any Peter Doocy or any of these reporters ask in the White House press briefing yesterday about the news story that the first son, oh my goodness, Hunter Biden was making homemade porn movies and sending links to them after he uploaded them on the public website to his father, Joe. They didn't ask Jean-Pierre about that yesterday.
And I heard your podcast, I believe, was it yesterday, a couple of days ago, where you said basically, and I agree with you, that he's using those porn videos to kind of blackmail.
Dad, that's right. That's right. Well, hey, listen, Mike in Louisiana, thanks for the call. We got to take a break, all right? Take care. We'll take our break. We'll be back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show.
Brian Craig here. You've heard us talk about the great low prices Friendly Tire has on new
Steve
tires
Kane
and
Show.
used tires. They also do tire
Hey,
repairs.
hold on.
Listen to one of our listeners talk about their experience at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hey Brian, my name is Mike. Just wanted to call and say thank you. I had a problem with my car. I had a flat tire. It was going down really quick. I'm in Coral Springs. I had to go somewhere close by. They couldn't really fix it. So I remember you guys are talking about Friendly Mike at Friendly Tires. So I said, listen, Mike, I need a couple of tires. I told him I thought. He goes, I got them. I go, I'll see you tomorrow. They were really cheap. I go over there, and Mike said, which tires do you want to replace? They look relatively new. I said, they are. I just got a big hole in that one. And they said they couldn't be fixed. He goes, pull your vehicle in. I pulled the vehicle in. He took the tire off. He pulled out the plug that the guy in Coral Springs put in there, and he heat shielded it. He kind of patched it or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it. And he goes, you don't need any tires. He goes, I fixed that one. Give me $20. But the guy in Coral Springs wanted $500 for 2 tires. I just wanted to say thank you. I love you guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Give Mike at Friendly Tire a call right now. I'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Don't waste time going anywhere else. You will never find
Steve Kane
prices
Show.
as low as Friendly Tire
There's-
in Margate. Brian Craig here with a huge announcement from the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the My Pillow, Mike Lindell. And My Pillow are now offering a BOGO extravaganza on multiple My Pillow items right now at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E at checkout. Buy one, get free pricing on
Wait,
My
what,
Pillow
you
bed
know.
sheets, Giza Elegance My Pillows, the 6-piece My Pillow towel set, and the My Pillow Roll and Go Anywhere My Pillows, and so much more. Just go to mypillow.com. Click on the radio listener specials. Use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout, or call toll-free 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. The BOGO extravaganza at mypillow.com with the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout. And with each
Steve,
purchase for free, you will get a copy of Mike Lindell's autobiography. Call 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. Or go to the radio listener special page at mypillow.com and use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642 or online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just
Wisconsin Gary, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Tropical storm coming, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah, that's one of the things with southern Florida that you guys got to deal with. We just got to deal with heavy snow and sometimes rain or endless rain.
Yeah, but you got Democrats up there too, right? You got to deal with them.
Oh, yeah, we got plenty of those, especially in Wisconsin, but...
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I was out yesterday. I was somewhere yesterday. I was the only one not wearing a mask, so I knew everyone else was a Democrat.
Right. Yeah, there's plenty of places where I go even yet that I still see people with masks on, and I just kind of shake my head.
Yeah, so what's on your mind, Gary?
Well, speaking of Liz Cheney, I don't know how anyone would be incompetent enough to want to do an ad for her, and let alone on most of the ads there. I mean, they must be like a lot of these millennials or something that are pretty blind and don't listen to the radio because, I mean, who would have been that many people that was in that ad? How would they not know what's not going on with her? So, I mean, it's like just hearing...
Well, the one that really, out of all of those, the one that really disgusted me was the woman towards the end. She said she stands behind veterans like me. There are so many people that aren't veterans because they were lost in the war, okay, that her father lied us into in Iraq. There are so many veterans you see. Well, you see them. You see those. My wife and I donate to Wounded Warriors and Tunnels to Towers, okay? You see those commercials? They're more heartbreaking than the animal shelter commercials. The guys, they're melted and they're missing limbs. And they got young kids and a pretty wife, and they're all. And look what Dick Cheney did to them. And she's, I mean, what they've done, what her family has done to veterans for the past 20 years is disgusting.
Right. Yeah, because if you look at it, when President Trump was there, he actually seen what was happening with the veterans, and so now all of a sudden, and I don't know how the resident in Washington has changed that all, but look what President Trump did for the veterans. Because a lot of veterans that I even knew, they would go to the VA and they couldn't get anything done because they just seemed like they got the runaround half the time.
Yeah.
If President Trump would have been the one that actually looked into the veterans and stuff, it's been like right now with that ad, it's a bunch of BS. It really is. But, I'm hoping she ends up being 40 points behind instead of just 30 points behind. She needs to go. She's a real lifetime rhino that really needs to go.
Well, I am. Let me tell you. She is only where she is because of her father in the name. I don't know. She's been in government for a long time now. I don't know of anything she's done. And another thing about her you can't trust. She voted for Joe Biden and she voted for Hillary Clinton. So how can you go around as a Republican who voted for the past two Democrats running for president?
Trump on all occasions, so that should be another reminder. Everyone should look at that one and really counteract her ad.
Exactly. All right, Wisconsin Gary, take care.
Have a great weekend.
All right, Wisconsin Gary is a truck driver. He's an owner-operator of his own 18-wheeler. I wonder if kids still do that honk thing. I don't know, for the truck driver. Richie the bus driver. How you doing, Richie?
Good morning. Good morning. Listen, happy Friday and stay dry. That's number one.
Who can stay dry? I mean, and this.
It's coming at us, But here's the deal. The Republicans, once again, don't know how to message. This creep got up there last night, this walking corpse that walked up to that microphone last night, and he started talking about the guns, and the Republicans are this and the Republicans are that. And he brought it up to him, but he says if they don't make changes, vote them out in November, which told me it's all about the election. The fact of the matter is, there isn't a gun problem in this country whatsoever. They problem in this country is a crime problem. People that obey the law in this country that have guns don't do anything with those guns but protect their families. The criminals that the Democrats will not lock up, they will not lock them up. If they catch them with a gun, they let them on the street the next day.
You know, a couple years ago, I was almost at a mass shooting. And remember, a couple years ago, there was a mass shooting at the airport in Fort Lauderdale, here in Florida, and it happened at the baggage claim. And I was at that. It was crazy. I picked my mother up at the airport, and I was with my daughter. We were at that same baggage claim. We were getting into my car in the parking garage when the shooting started. I mean, we just missed it by like 5 minutes. But that guy, that shooting, remember, some people thought that he might have some problems and reported him to the FBI. FBI in Alaska called him in for questioning. Thought that people thought he was a terrorist and a Muslim terrorist. FBI in Alaska called him in for questioning, took his gun away from him. They let him go and gave him his gun back. A suspected and then he comes to Fort Lauderdale, and I didn't know you could check weapons, and shut up the baggage claim. If you look at these high-profile incidents, Uvalde, Parkland, the one I just told you about, more often than not, the government's responsible for these events because they've got people on their radar, sometimes in their custody, and they let them go.
Yeah, look at Los Angeles where your daughter moved to. It's become a shooting gallery out there, and nobody cares. I mean, the homeless are all over the place with needles. They've got the guns. They shoot their drive-bys all the time. And the fact of the matter is, it's not decent people doing this. So why are you going to take away guns from decent people? Why are you going to restrict from decent people? Go after the criminals, Democrats. That's number one. Number two, I got to bring something up that you were very disingenuous 2 days ago. And I'm sort of agreeing in the fact that we're spending too much money overseas on this war. But you said that this lady on YouTube is in Kiev and they get the donut shop. Now, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, Brian, they haven't hit Kiev. They haven't gotten to Kiev. Kiev is basically...
Okay, did you watch the YouTube video I was telling you about?
No, I know what you said, but let me ask you a question. Miami is having a big problem with gun violence and shooting up and everything else. In Jacksonville, there's nothing going on. Isn't Jacksonville the same?
That's different. Okay. Let me just get people up to speed on what we're talking about. I watch some young vloggers that are like in their 20s that are in Ukraine, and there's this one girl. Yeah, I understand. I'm telling the story. Don't worry, I'll get to that part. There's this one girl. She not only is from Ukraine, she's from Kiev, and she evacuated with her daughter, who's about 5 or 6 years old, when the war started, went to Poland. She's a very pretty girl. She just came back, and she did this vlog in Kiev, and it looks like Seattle, normal. And she even goes to this gourmet donut shop, you know. And I'm seeing people going down the sidewalk holding Starbucks and stuff, you know. And the thing about it is, you talk about Miami or Jacksonville. Jacksonville has a lot of crime in it too. That's different. That's different than an enemy army with rape gangs that are marching towards my city. If there was an enemy army that had rape gangs in it in Miami, I'd get my family out of Florida. I'd do the show via remote.
I get what you're saying, but they were going towards Kiev and they would turn back, and they're not even. Please,
the situation is not as bad as we're led to believe. And I'll tell you another thing. There's story today that there's been some assassination attempts on Putin and that he's got a limited time to live from cancer. It sounds like this problem's working itself out between his cancer and the assassination attempts on Putin. It looks like this problem's working its way out on its own over there. What?
I have a problem. I've been for helping these people, okay? But I don't have a problem for Biden using this as an excuse for baby formula, for gasoline, for everything. I mean, this is outrageous what they have done. They've taken this, given the money to Kiev, and then they blame Kiev for gas prices.
Well, that's the problem, Richie. The money's not for Ukraine. It's a money laundering operation. Most of it's they got their whole Build Back Better thing through this. I promise you, they got it.
I see see it, and that really gets me crazy too. So you were basically right with that, but you know, I wanted to stand up for the country, but they have twisted that too. And Liz Cheney, real quick, Liz Cheney, by the way, she's such a traitor to the Republicans, and she uses the Constitution in every speech she makes. And the Democrats have a way of taking the Constitution and ripping it and shredding it to use it for what they want.
Oh yeah, it's not absolute. And the other thing that, you know, Mark Levin talks about this. They love to say it's a living, breathing document that grows and changes with the times. That's all BS. But the thing for Liz, how can Liz Cheney go around and say that she's the true constitutionalist Republican when she voted Democrat in the last 2 presidential elections?
I hope you have.
Come on.
And I'll hang up. The clip with the black congressman, what he said about the guns, what they will do.
I don't have the clip. I saw it though. I didn't want to pull it up. Yeah, take them all away. Yes.
Idiot.
Listen, the problem. Take care, Richie. Here's what you do. Most gun violence is in these cities like Chicago. You go to Chicago, and I'm serious about this. I have the solution to the gun violence in Chicago, and I'm not kidding. You give $5,000. You do like Crime Stoppers, right? Reward, no questions. $5,000 cash reward to anyone who turns someone in who is illegally in possession of a working gun in Chicago. You don't pay them till you get the gun. You clean up the streets like that. Same thing in New York and everything else. All right, we're going to take our break. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio, the Steve Kane Show. That's right, our number's toll free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE 1. 888-465-2631. Back after this.
You've heard Steve Kane talk about how Lighthouse Medical Center has rid him of neuropathy, and they've been helping lots of Steve Kane listeners too. Here's one of our listeners, Jose, sharing how Lighthouse Medical Center has helped him.
Hey, Jose, Brian. Listen, the other day I was at Lighthouse Medical. The place is unbelievable, Brian. I have feet atrophy, numbness of the body. The bottoms of my feet are completely numb at night.
Really? Wow.
And yeah, and I've been dealing with it for a long time. I surf, I did martial arts for 24 years. I snowboard, just a lot of activity. And I had 2 hip replacements. I don't know if that was part of it, but it's really basically caused from lower back.
It sounds like you lived the life of a Hollywood stuntman, abusing your body, and you've got all kinds of problems now.
I'm 61. So this place is unbelievable. I mean, I'm really, skeptical about any medical stuff, but
Steve Kane Show.
I've been there a week and already my ankles are swelling.
Hold on.
I would say about 30 to 40% of my numbness on the bottom of my feet have gotten better. They give you, when you do what they advise you to do, you do a lot of it at home. It's like unbelievable. And they give you the equipment, they explain everything to you, they tell you how you develop this and what to do to take care of it. And it's just, they're amazing people. The whole staff is great, man. I mean, I've never been in a place like this, and I've had all kinds of medical situations that I've had to deal with over the 60 years of my life. But man, what nice people they are. I love that place.
Well, that's great, and I appreciate the call. Lighthouse Medical Center, before we started sharing what they offer to you on the radio, we first visited with them. Steve began the treatment and everything else. The Lighthouse Medical Center, which really impressed me a lot, and it should, is they are a medical practice that has been in practice with the same family here in Broward County for 75 years, which tells you everything you need to know about the credibility of the practice and the treatments that they offer. That's amazing. Lighthouse Medical Center, the number 754-222-6642, and it's a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. 754-222-6642, and online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
From Coral Springs. So I was calling because Richie brought up that Olga from Ukraine. And
yes.
She's kind of an interesting person. I saw a Nomad Capitalist video where they're talking about retiring in Ukraine, and somehow after watching that video, her thing came into my YouTube stream. And she actually, before all this broke out, was like kind of like a quasi real estate person, and also somebody who would help.
Yeah, but to get us more up to speed, she went back to Kiev this week. She did a vlog, and it looks like Seattle on a regular afternoon.
Yeah, it looks like nothing's going on there. And now I don't know if Richie's right or wrong, but it doesn't seem like they have a care in the world. You would think that everybody there would be like going crazy if it's.
That's right. And if the rape gangs are coming, you don't go back there with your daughter.
Yeah. But yeah, she's an interesting lady, and the older videos are pretty funny, because she's gone from being like just a regular gal to being almost like...
She's a war correspondent. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. All right, we had some problems earlier this week, but I think we're set up. Steve Kane joining us. You with us, Steve?
I think.
Good. Okay, we got you. We got the studio connection back. Oh, man. Ugh. Boy, I know there's so much going on.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
Talking about it,
one or two things. I'll just keep going. We got a lot going on. By the way, it is open phones on Friday. Anything and everything you have on your mind that is relevant, you're welcome to call in with today. Again, we don't want to get too far off the plantation, but I do our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I want to. I do have some audio here. These low-life Democrats will stop at nothing. Just because someone is a veteran doesn't mean they're not a Democrat, and does not mean that their opinions are correct. There have been a lot of people that have been in the military and that are veterans who are wackadoodle. There's a guy who claims to be a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. And he put a video up on TikTok. He's trying to start a trend on TikTok. He had a whole bunch of guns, and he's now woken up. He had a whole bunch of guns and ammunition. He's woken up. He's woke now. He supports a ban on these weapons and the ammo. And he makes this YouTube video. I'll play you the audio. He goes to his local police station and turns in his guns and his ammo so that they will destroy them. Okay, so let me play this. This is the man who claims to be a Marine.
Today I'm turning in my weapons to the Hillsborough Police Department in Oregon, both my AR-15 and my 9mm handgun. I no longer want them. I know this will not change legislation or anything to do with gun culture in America, but hopefully it'll be a form of symbolism, and hopefully America can wake up, because no other country has the problems that we do with gun culture and ideation and gun violence like we do. Amend the Constitution, amend the legislation, amend the statutes.
Okay, so that's it. So he's a Marine. Now, here's the thing with this, okay? I don't know if he really did what he said he was going to do or not. He opens up the back of his SUV, and he shows a list that has guns and ammos listed on it. He shows some gun cases that he says have guns in them, and he's in front of a police station. I didn't see him actually turn them in, and I didn't see any police. I didn't see any of this going on. I don't know if he actually turned them in or not. I'm very suspect of it. But the liberals are trying to get up to date with all the technology, right? So you're going to you're hearing it here first, you're going to start to see a trend of people like this guy that are gun owners who have woken up and now all of a sudden want to just throw away thousands of dollars in guns and ammunition, and it's going to be all over the internet. And that's going to be a new trend that they're doing now, and try to encourage people. It's all fake, people. But that's the first guy to try to start the trend. And then this clip here, this is from Stephanie Rule, who she looks like she smokes about 12 packs of cigarettes a day. But you know how when people are chain smokers, it kills your skin. Your skin gets, I don't, what's that orange color you see in people's skin? She's got that going on. She's on MSNBC. This is Stephanie Ruhle on MSNBC yesterday.
Juanita, Biden offered Congress specifics tonight, but let's get realistic because we have all been here before. Do you think he moved the ball? Because conservative media is already saying it was just a big gun grab. Because gun safety is one issue that all sorts of Americans that don't care about politics or hate politicians, they do care about public safety, safety for their children.
Well, I got an idea. Like in Uvalde, Texas, it's the same thing happened to the shooter in Parkland. Both the Uvalde, Texas shooter and the Parkland shooter in the past had been threatening to shoot up schools, okay? And neither of them were arrested for it. So maybe it would help if when people threaten to shoot up schools, you arrest them like that Florida sheriff did with that 10-year-old kid.
And Republicans, they don't want this issue to stay in focus. I can't find any Republican who can come on this show with me and talk gun safety.
I'll do it. You want to join me, Steve? She's looking. Stephanie Ruhle on MSNBC says she cannot find any Republicans to talk about gun safety. Well, we're volunteer. Can anybody in the audience want to volunteer? We'll all volunteer. We'll give her every night a different Republican discussing with Stephanie Ruhle gun safety live on MSNBC.
To stay in focus. I can't find any Republican who can come on this show with me and talk gun safety, who can explain to me why they think an 18-year-old should be able to buy an AR-15. They just want this story to go away. But who buys this Republican argument? Explain the rationale behind it's a gun grab. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. What they're proposing, no one's looking down on responsible gun owners to say, let's go with a background check. Let's register your guns. All those suburban or undecided voters that Juanita's talking about, they're going to be on board for that. Nobody's taking your gun. I'm pretty sure all those Republicans, they registered their vehicles, their boats, they registered to vote. None of those things were taken away from them. Why are they worried about guns?
Well, there's no constitutional right to own a boat, okay? You know, you don't even have to have a driver's license to buy a car. Did you know that? You only need a driver's license to drive the car, okay? So, you know, but the purpose of there already is, even though we don't realize this, that there is a bit of a gun registry because when they do the background check when you buy a gun, I'm sure there's a record of that. But the only purpose they have of registering guns is so they know where to come and take them. And there's one of the best movies ever made is Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze. You ever see Red Dawn, Steve, with Patrick Swayze? It's not Patrick Swayze's best movie. That's Roadhouse. But in Red Dawn, there's this great scene. I've talked about this before. It's a beautiful scene. It's in the very beginning of the movie. And remember, it's the Russians and the Cuban army invade this town. And I think it was in Colorado. And it's at night. And the fighting's going on in this town at night. And the scene is done in subtitles. The communist Cuban colonel goes up to two of his men, and it's in subtitles. You can find this online. I'm sure it's all over the internet for free. And he tells his men to go to the local outdoorsman store where they sell the guns in town, and he says go into the office and look for forms, and then he gives them the form numbers, like DD 620. He tells them the forms because they had to register their guns. He says that'll tell you where everyone is that has the guns, and then go get them. It's right there in the movie. The only reason to register guns is so that they know where they are, so that they can come and get your guns. All right? That's the only... What other purpose is there to register the guns? Why would they want to register the guns? The only reason we register cars is it's a tax. Your car registration is just a way for them to... They've already taxed you when you bought the car. Your car registration fees every year is a government tax. The only reason you are required to register your car is not for car safety. There is no course or driver's license needed to own a car, only to drive it. The registration is just a way for the government to make money. That's it. That's what they do. Well, regardless, that's that. Okay, let's take our break. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take our last break of the second hour. My name's Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Hi, this is Scott from Cut by Kilowatts. If you call or text me on my cell phone, I will analyze
Steve Kane Show. Hello? Hold on. Steve Kane. Okay, hold on.
Steve's got a great connection today. What's going on?
Your electric bill this month.
Don did some adjustments.
954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Call now. Get up to 50% off and receive an additional $500 on over 2,000 square feet of radium barrier, an additional $1,000 off on 4,000 square feet of radium barrier. Call or text me now, 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or you can find me on the web at cutmykilowatts.com.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes.
The chair's against the wall. John has a long mustache.
Where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified.
The drive-in scene? Oh no, that's the re-education camp.
Roofing, impact windows, and building restoration.
Really? The Colonel? Really? Yeah, he's a familiar guy. I don't remember seeing him in anything else.
Older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Oh man, I know, Steve, you're not worried about this tropical storm because Tom Laporta put a new roof on your house last year.
Absolutely right. What a great job Tom did.
Oh man. And you know, listen, we're not getting a hurricane this weekend. We may have a tropical storm. Okay, I'm not the weatherman, so I'm not gonna. You know, it's a pretty serious thing. I mean, I'm prepared. You know, but this to me looks like it's going to be a busy hurricane season. I was reading an article; they're predicting like 22 named storms or something this year. That was a large number. And we might, you know, a tropical storm though is pretty serious. A lot of you are new to Florida and don't understand. A tropical storm, you can still get wind gusts that are hurricane strength. And even when we have a hurricane that's a Category 1, you can still get wind gusts that are Category 3 and 4 wind gust or even higher to 5, you know.
Remember when, before Tom did the roof at the Kane household, I get a weather report like we're getting now, you know, there's a major storm on the way, and I used to be sweating it.
You should have been, yeah.
Yeah, it was very scary. Now, let it rain, let it pour. Let the winds blow, and we're as snug as a bug in a rug.
Yeah. So, you know, give Tom Laporta a call. He's a good MAGA guy, and the number we give out rings directly to his cell phone. And get that roof inspected. You know, those of you that are new to Florida, hurricanes are serious business, people. And that roof is very, very important because what happens... You get one loose shingle, one loose tile, that wind gets under there, boom, takes the roof. It's like to Oz. So here's Tom Laporta's phone number, 954-604-4602. 954, let me finish it. Yeah, 954-604-4602.
One of the things we want to point out with Tom is he is not just a roofer. He is a general contractor, which means pretty much any major, for example, we're going to, I think, build, when Alex gets out of the Army, I think we may build another room on our...
He's leaving the Army? Oh.
I'm just saying, you know, he's in flux right now.
Oh, I did not know that.
But, yeah.
No, big stuff happening. Yeah. All right, well, let's go to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, that's me, Eric, here in Deerfield Beach.
Hey, what's up, Eric?
Just like you, Eric. Go ahead.
Okay, Steve, listen, I had 2 talking points real quick to hit you with.
Talking points?
Yeah. Are we okay here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so when Biden visited Texas and in that city with the shootings, did you catch the video of him going around? There were cardboard cutouts of all the children. And he went around with Jill, and they walked each cardboard cutout and pretended to touch and bless each child. Did you see that video?
I did not see that. What's the next one? Your next talking point.
My other talking point I'm curious about is the 16 unexplained fires.
Yeah, now we
more calls on that.
Yeah, we were talking about that one the other day, but you know, you have done something that I've never heard a caller do before.
What's the matter?
Well, nothing's the matter. Nothing's the matter. You just you said something that I've never heard a caller say.
Okay.
You began the call by saying, "I have 2 talking points that I want you to comment on." We don't really do talking points around here. I've just never heard someone say that before. That's a strange thing. When you say talking points, where did you get these talking points?
All right, so can I finish my second thought?
Well, can you answer my question? Where did you get your talking points? What's that all about?
It's a boilerplate expression, Craig.
Exactly.
I've never heard it.
Brian, sometimes a banana is just a banana. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm trying to find out what kind of banana this is. Okay, what's your third talking point?
The second point was, you didn't let me finish. So these 16 food manufacturers have been conveniently burned down that people call it a conspiracy. I think it's a clandestine operation operated by the Homeland Security. I think.
Oh, really? All right. Okay. It's just a thought. You sure that's a thought?
Now you're going to hang up on me now, right?
Well, every call ends in if I'm on the phone with my wife, that call ends with a hang up too, right? Uh-huh. Oh, and he hung up on us. Okay, he hung up, and I wanted to... I'll tell you why.
It's a pugnacious mood today.
No, I'm going to tell you, and that guy, I know why he hung up. He hung up. I did not hang up on him. I would still be talking to him if he did not hang up. That guy is so obvious. He's a seminar caller. That guy was a seminar caller. Talking points, that's liberal talk. That's lib speak. And he hung up on himself. I did not hang up on him. I wanted to get into this. And I'm just, he slipped. And the reason he hung up is because when I hit him with the talking point thing, he knew it was unraveling and he wanted to get out of Dodge. But...
Or you're getting a little paranoid in your old age.
No. I'm not old.
Just in front of the mic on the firing line, putting up with a lot of people, some of whom make sense, many of whom don't make sense, sadly. It can do that to your brain.
No, that guy was a seminar caller. And for those that don't know what seminar callers is, Rush used to talk about seminar callers. And seminar callers are fake callers that are put up by the DNC to call talk shows and try to get things going. And the reason he hung up is because he slipped when he said talking points. And what he did was bring up 2 things to try to get us talking about wackadoodle things, okay? This thing with cardboard cutouts that they were blessing and hugging and kissing.
About all these food manufacturing companies burning down. That's not...
No. But we talked about it a couple days ago on the show, but he added something to it. That Homeland Security is running around the country lighting things on fire to cause a food shortage. That guy is fake MAGA. He is a Democrat seminar caller who's calling us to try to get us to talk about wackadoodle conspiracies. And I'll tell you this, out of all of the, even though he screwed up and said talking points at the beginning, which is lip speak, other than that, he was a very good seminar caller because he had done some background research on both of us, so he knew who he was talking to. Most of the time, they don't know who they're talking to. They're just randomly calling people off the list. But no, that was a seminar caller, textbook. And when I brought up that he screwed up by saying talking points, that's why he hung up on himself. All right, now I would have explored this with him if he didn't hang up on himself, but he hung up because he didn't want to have to go through that. Well, he's been exposed. He's been exposed. All right, now listen, we're coming up on the top of the hour break. One more hour to go. It is open phones on Friday. You, of course, are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, The Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1, 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this. It's 8 o'clock.
This is the Talk of South Florida, 95.3, 96.9, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG Live station.
Steve Kane Show. One call per day. Call on Monday.
$1 a day with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will assist you with doctor appointment scheduling, pharmacy issues, billing problems, plan benefits, Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now online at iwilladvocates.com or call them directly, 954-345-1214. No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Dr. Matez here from
Steve Kane Show.
West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous
Steve Kane Show.
erection injection, an extremely
Yeah, what's your name?
treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular
Oh, well.
right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the BioStation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of...
Oh, as soon as he said talking points, I knew what he was all about.
Such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place. The BioStation West Delray. If you want to
I got to sneeze like nobody's business. I've been trying to hold it back.
561-320-8893.
Take my mic off.
561-320-8893.
Ugh.
This is the Talk of South Florida, 95.3, 96.9, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG Live station.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 75.
Now, the air conditioning just popped on
6642
over my head.
for a no charge consultation when you mention
Thank you,
your name
guys.
on the radio. 754-222-6642 or online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Thank you, Deborah.
Is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid
Oh, man. You got it. These seminar callers, I love them. I love them.
Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guests alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
You're listening
Christine, welcome to all our members and new members. And if you would like to become a member of the channel, the join button is next to the subscribe button. And, you know, you get exclusive content and things. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's time to come back. All right, third and final hour. We are back. I'm Brian. Steve, you with us?
I sure am.
Oh, man. Okay. Let's go back to the phones. 1-888-GO-KANE 1. It is Friday, and it is open phones. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, David from Coconut Creek.
Coconut Creek, what's up?
Hey, so I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think about Biden forgiving the student loans that he did recently?
It's a way to try to buy back support from young people. I went to college and I didn't take any loans and have any grants. I paid for it out of my own pocket. Why am I not getting a refund?
But when you went to college, how long ago was that?
Not that long ago. I went to college as an adult while I was on the radio doing the Steve Kane Show here with Steve, and I had a baby at home too.
So okay, so you don't think that student loans should be forgiven?
No. Why? Hey, listen. Why not mortgage loans or car loans? Why should those not be forgiven?
But those are kind of different from student loans.
Okay, tell me why a student loan should be forgiven.
Because someone who graduated college, just getting their first job, which may not be a very high-paying job, depending on what field you're in, for you to have to pay it back. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay it back, but the problem is the interest rate.
Oh, well, then don't take the loan. When I went to college, I went as an adult, and it took me a long time to graduate college, right? You know, and I had a daughter at home, and I used to joke around. I said, I better graduate before my daughter starts college. But sometimes I only took one class. Sometimes I took a semester off. Why do you think I did that?
So you could pay for it?
Yeah. You know, this idea that you graduate high school and then you go on this 4, 6, 8 year vacation, live in the dorms, have your dorm paid for, your school paid for, your food paid for. I remember my daughter was in the dorm rooms and they even give you free condoms there and everything else. You know, and then, so you have this party thing that's paid for, and then you don't want to pay it back?
People don't want to pay it back. But
sure they don't want to pay it back.
I had student loans, and I was paying my student loans for a long time.
And then you stopped?
Well, let me tell you.
No. Then you okay? Then you defaulted on your student loans? You stopped paying them?
No, I haven't defaulted on them.
Did you stop paying them?
No. Well, they're in forbearance right now.
Oh, they're in forbearance. They're in forbearance. Oh, I see. Why?
Because Biden gave us the forbearance.
Oh, because Biden, yeah. Oh, wow. For COVID. What is your degree in?
Aeronautical science.
Oh my gosh, that's like a specialty degree.
It is.
How much money do you make?
Like around $80,000 a year.
How much?
$80,000
$80,000 a year. You have an advanced degree, and you're not paying back your loan? It's in forbearance. You're not paying. When?
They're in forbearance. I'm paying back the private ones right now. I was actually paying both. I was paying almost $1,000 a month for both of those loans.
Yeah.
But the issue is with these loans. Okay, when I graduated, my private loans were $70,000. I paid back $40,000 already. And the balance is still over.
What is the total amount of student loans that you have?
Right now I have
$149,000. That's less than 2 years. Okay, well, you know what? Then you don't take out $150,000 in loans.
No, but I didn't take out $50,000 in loans. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh my gosh.
If Biden is able to hang on one second. If Biden is able to pull this off, and they forgive the rest of your loans.
Where's the accent from?
How much money is that going to save you? By the way, that money is going to have to be paid back. It's just you're not going to be the one paying it back.
Yeah, Steve and I are.
So hold on. So listen, let me tell you. I have $49,000 in federal loans, which are in forbearance, right?
$50,000.
Right. I'm in the public student loan forgiveness program, where if you make 120 payments, 10 years, the balance gets forgiven.
Oh my goodness.
I'm 8 years into that, so I have 2 years left before that gets forgiven. That's a first.
Let me ask you a question. Where's this accent from that you have? Jamaica. How long you been in this country?
Say again?
At what age did you come to America?
20 years ago. 20 years ago, at 20.
At 20. So here you come from another country. You come here. Steve went to college. He and his family paid for his college. I went to college. I paid for my college. You come here from Jamaica, a few years ago at age 20, and you want us to pay for your college too? What the hell? Where do you get off?
What's the fairness in that?
Yeah.
Listening to
I'm listening to everything. The arrogance.
interrupting me, but you keep on interrupting me. What I'm trying to tell you is my private loans, I'm paying those. I've been paying those for the past 9 years. And I borrowed 70,000, already paid back 40, and I still have 100,000.
So what? You took the loans? You paid. Let me give you an example right now. Where are you at again here in Florida?
Coconut Creek.
You're in Coconut Creek. Here in Florida right now, because of the Democrat exodus from around the country, real estate prices are through the roof. I could not afford to buy a house in my own neighborhood right now. I couldn't afford to live in my own neighborhood. Luckily, I've had the house for almost 20 years. Okay? People right now are buying homes at the peak of market prices. There is going to be a massive drop at some point in the future. For example, someone is paying $500,000 for a house that in a couple years is only going to go for $250,000 or $300,000. That's a $200,000 loss. When you go out and take a loan, whether it's a student loan, a car loan, a mortgage loan, you know what you're doing. If you don't want to pay it back, you don't take the loan. You're a deadbeat. You're a deadbeat.
So you think
you're a bum.
The loan is, you think if I take out the student loan at 3%, right? You think
I don't care if it's 20%. You took the loan. You're responsible for it.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, you think it's fair? I'm not.
Yeah, well, life's not fair. Life's not fair.
Okay, for them to raise my interest rate to 15%.
I don't know what the deal is with your company. Listen, when you take a loan, excuse me, when you take a loan, a student loan, a credit card, a mortgage, a car payment, or you go to you go to some place and rent furniture, right? There are terms and conditions to the loan, okay? And I'm sorry that you agreed to a loan that you don't feel is fair to pay back, but someone loaned you money and you agreed to it. Bum.
Go another way with it. Let me explore another aspect of this.
No. Slow down, caller.
Everyone gets a turn here. My question is, why do you think that Biden chose to forgive your loan?
Why do I think that he did what?
Why do you think he is doing this, Biden?
I mean, forget both times, do me.
Oh, you think that's okay?
Well, in the second reason,
it's called bribery.
Which is that's a crime. That's a crime, isn't it, Steve?
What's going on here? But I don't even need another reason. Bribery is enough.
The second reason is it helps the economy. You have a lot of people graduating from schools that can't afford to buy a home because of students.
Well, listen, then you rent. Then you rent. Now, this guy comes to America. How old are you?
I'm 40.
You're 41 years old. You come to this country at the age of 20, and you just want everything given to you. You have an advanced degree that will earn you six figures. Exactly. It's exactly right. This is what pisses people off about the current wave of immigrants to this country. You are a freeloading bum and a deadbeat.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess you haven't heard anything I said.
Your problem is I've heard everything you've said. No, you said part of it's in forbearance. You don't have to pay right now. And you're hoping that it's
I still have to pay it at some point.
Maybe not.
Let me ask the second part of my question. So now that you accept, we're in agreement that Biden basically is trying to buy your vote.
Yeah.
Going to be successful? Are you going to vote for him?
No, I never voted for him. The last two times I voted for Trump.
Well, but he hadn't bribed you.
Oh! Whoa, okay. So you voted for Trump. You know, okay. Mar-a-Lago is within the listening range of this radio station, and Mar-a-Lago does listen to the Steve Kane Show on occasion. If President Trump were listening to you this morning with your student loans, do you think President Trump, who you say you voted for, would agree with you or disagree with you about your freeloading lifestyle here with the student loans?
Why are you saying it's freeloading? It's not freeloading.
Well, you know what? I'm being kind. You're a thief. It's stealing. If you borrow money and then you don't pay it back, you've stolen the money. Would Donald Trump approve it? I'm trying to be nice to you.
Brian's about to make a citizen's arrest.
Brian, I told you.
No, I don't care. No. I've asked you a question. We've been dancing around with your stuff for 10 minutes. If President Trump had the radio on right now in Mar-a-Lago and he is listening to your call, do you think he would agree with you or me and Steve about your student loan story?
Agree with me about what? There's nothing to disagree with me with.
I've answered 20 of your questions, and you're not answering this one because you know Donald Trump would not approve. If
it was bribery.
If Steve today, loaned me $50, like the Larry King joke, loan me $50, Steve. And I said, okay, Steve, I'm going to pay you back next Friday, and I don't pay him back next Friday. What am I?
You didn't keep your word. You're dishonest.
I'm a liar and a bum and a deadbeat. That's what you are. You're trying to find a way to get out of paying your obligation, and you're supporting other thieves around this country getting their student loans forgiven. Yeah.
I've listened to your show for the past few months.
Well, you've got great taste in radio shows.
Hold on. And I really admire you. What you're saying right now makes me look at you differently, because I told you 6 times I'm paying my loans.
No, you said no. You're trying to get out of it, and your federal loans are in forbearance. Hey, listen. We've got to run for a break because we've got bills that pay, not to get forbearance on and forgiven. So we got to run some spots here. Oh my goodness. We'll be right back. Oh. Steve, listen, we'll take a break, okay? And we'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Brian Craig here with a huge announcement from the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the My Pillow.
Guys, call in and tell us what you think about the freeloaded Jamaican.
On multiple My Pillow items right now at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E at checkout. Buy one, get free pricing on My Pillow bed sheets, Giza Elegance My Pillows, the 6-piece My Pillow towel set, and the My Pillow Roll and Go Anywhere My Pillows, and so much more. Just go to mypillow.com. Click on the radio
Steve Kane Show
specials. Use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E at checkout, or call toll free 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. The BOGO Extravaganza at mypillow.com with the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E at checkout. And with each purchase for free, you will get a copy of Mike Lindell's autobiography. Call 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. Or go to the radio listener special page at mypillow.com and use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Hi, this is Scott from Cut by Kilowatts.
Oh yeah, that caller. Yeah, I know. Oh, you have a shirt from the oldie station. Where'd you get that at?
I went to go visit them on Sunday.
Yeah, I wanted to go up there to look at the studios. What's the exit that it's off of?
North Lake, 77.
Oh, it's barely in the county.
Yeah.
That's.
That's why people that live in the United States, that were born in the United States,
Yeah.
struggle because of people like that.
Oh, yeah.
Who come immigrants and they get all the privileges.
Oh yeah, he's a bum.
He's a bum.
Bum, deadbeat.
Close to border.
Yeah, he doesn't even know it. I mean, he's like, no. Good. All right, everything's good. Oh yeah, well, so am I.
That was great news, and I found out yesterday. I knew that the meeting was going to be positive, so.
No, I'm streaming on YouTube so they can hear everything. Okay. No, you always have to tell people that you can hear, just in case. You never know.
I mean, I don't say bad words.
No, but you never know what people are going to say.
Because he didn't have a great show.
Yeah. Oh man! All right, you want to take some more calls? I don't know. Oh man, who wants to walk the plank next? I don't know. I can't help it. I mean, Steve. It took me forever to get through. Steve had rich parents, so you didn't have to. It took me years to get through college because I had to pay for it myself. And this guy comes here from Jamaica and wants me to pay for his education too. That's crazy. All right.
Is that my parents picked up the tab.
That's correct. Yes. 1-888-GO Kane 1. And back when you went to college, they didn't have all these loans and everything that they have today, right?
Simpler in those days.
Oh man, yeah. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is JJ from Mass.
Hey JJ, what's up?
JJ.
Good morning, gentlemen. Interesting show today, Brian. I was going to mention a little bit about a few other things, but you really.
Go ahead.
I was going to talk about the housing problem in Florida and the rent. You had a caller on the other day that was talking about companies are coming in and buying up the properties and stuff, paying top value, and he said he was wondering if it was BlackRock and stuff like that, and I was like, there's no way it's BlackRock. I know a couple people in real estate, and what they're waiting for, quite frankly, is when everything crashes and the banks have all these houses on the books, BlackRock would go into the bank and say, listen, we'll buy these 1,000, mortgages that you have. That's the way they'll.
Well, what's happened? This is what's happened. Okay, I see this in my own neighborhood where companies are coming in and buying houses and turning them into rentals. We never had rentals in my neighborhood before. Now we do. And what's happened is it's just a new form of investment that companies are doing. It's just a new concept in investing that. I mean, I don't understand it because they're paying cash and they're paying way too much for these houses right now at the top of the market and they're renting them out. I don't know what the long-term business plan is, but it's just a new form of investment that companies are doing. And there's no conspiracy about. I know people think Bill Gates is trying to buy up all the houses and turn everything into public housing and all, and I know that's just not the case. In fact, the houses on my street that this has happened to, I've done a lot of research into the companies because I wanted to know who was buying the houses in my neighborhood,
What'd you find out on that?
It's a couple of different companies that are from out west. It's not BlackRock. It's not Bill Gates. It's not George Soros, and they're not too bright. I saw a couple of the guys, and they're young guys who look like they got lucky and made a few dollars off Bitcoin, and now they think they're business people, and they're paying 3 times what the houses are worth, so they'll.
I was going to say the long-term business plan when they're buying right now is failure. It's not. Florida, as far as real estate goes, the one great thing about Florida is what happened during, COVID is that the governor kept things going really well there. But one of the bad things about the whole COVID thing, well, Florida, you guys obviously, I lived there, went through a bunch of hurricanes. You get the damage from where it hits. Get a lot of destruction, but there's a little bit of a boost to the economy with all the rebuilding and stuff, but there's a hit to the economy, but there's physical damage. With this COVID, it was like a 2-year hurricane, but without the physical damage, just mental and monetary. So, and that kind of ties into this kid in a way. This kid from Jamaica, I know you were going at him pretty hard, and I know of a couple of people up here that were in school or that mortgages, a lot of people that got in my own, family, cousins and so forth, that got because their jobs because they couldn't work. And I know this took place down in Florida where they didn't, people didn't have to.
Yeah, but that's not okay. Listen, you're talking about a hardship situation. What this guy was talking about is, hey, I don't want to pay it. What was his degree in? I'd forgotten what it is right now, and I was in such a rage. But it was an engineering degree of some kind. Yeah, some kind of engineering degree.
In fact, from one I heard, the one word I kept hearing was, it was kind of going in and out, was forbearance. He said part of...
Well, forbearance, the federal loan's in forbearance, which means the payments are suspended temporarily, but he's holding out for the whole doing away with it.
Said he's hoping for...
Yeah, of course, yes. And the reason he was upset, that caller was in shock that we didn't agree with forgiving student loans. Listen, why not forgive mortgage loans and car loans? Let me tell you, I do not have any credit card debt, I am proud to say. I say that with pride, okay? I do not have $1 on a credit card. That was not always the case, okay? And it was rough. When and I have known people that have a lot of credit card debt. Credit card debt is one of the biggest financial problems people face in this country. Why not forgive that, Biden? Why just student loan debt?
Yeah, well, that whole student loan thing is a way that, who are the teachers in these colleges? They're all liberals. They all vote Democrat. It's like Washington, D.C., 90+% Democrat.
Well, Bill Bennett, okay, everybody knows Bill Bennett. He's still around. He was Ronald Reagan's education secretary, and he talked about when he was education secretary, he would get postcards from Acapulco from students who would mail them to the Secretary of Education laughing that they were using their student loan money to go to Acapulco on vacation. And he did the first crackdown of this racket. One of the reasons that the guy was talking about, I didn't involve getting into the details because, with that guy, but I will with you. The reason that there's so much student loan debt really is because the government gives out student loans. Because the government gives out student loans, so what the universities have done, they raise the prices of the classes and the books. And they're very expensive. And I remember when I was in college, which was not that long ago, about 15 years ago, okay, you would take a class that they give every semester, but next semester they would change up the books so that you couldn't sell your old books and all this crap. The cost of college textbooks and the classes have increased hundreds of times since the day Steve was in college because of the student loans the federal government gives that are unlimited. There's no fiscal responsibility in that. So the government is why they caused the problem in the first place.
They threw a lot of money at it. That's what they do. Just like right now, we're going to...
Well, think about it. If you're in business and the government is going to give people money to do business with you, you're going to raise your prices because the government's paying for it.
And the liberal professors get their second condo and go on vacation and whatever.
Well, look at these idiots from the insurance company. They gave us Obamacare because they got all excited that there's going to be a law requiring people to buy our product, which is health insurance. And then look what happened. The health insurance industry collapsed.
They print all the money they can, and then the underlying product or service they either don't, like with gasoline, with the barrels of oil, not only because you just keep printing money, Econ 101, you print a lot of money, no increase in any of the products or services in that economy, you're going to have inflation.
Well, it's just...
Those underlying products like barrels of oil,
yeah,
so that they don't increase.
And
plants that have been burning down. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I can't for the life of me, I'm almost 60 years old, and I don't ever for the life of me remember all these, fires of processing plants and egg and farms. I don't ever remember.
There's definitely something going on with it.
There's I don't know, but I'll tell you this, okay? I'm not saying this is the case with the 16 plants of food plants that have burned down. But when Bill Clinton was president, there were a bunch of church fires going on. And a lot of them were black churches. And of course, Bill Clinton was president. I remember he gave a speech once in front of a 2x4 that had been charred, and they claimed it was from a black church that had been burned down. They probably just went to the Home Depot and took some cigarette lighters out on the thing. But what they were doing with that was claiming that there were these white supremacists running around burning down black churches. Well, there were some investigations into this. You know who was burning down the churches?
Democrat blacks? I don't know.
The preachers many times. Insurance scams. Yeah, it was the rash of church fires in the early 1990s was not arson. It was an insurance racket that was going on. Now, I'm not saying that's going on with the food processing plants, but you know.
Well, that's something to be. Because just I mean, I've been around a little while. I'm not 70 or 80, but I'm just about almost a few more months I'll be 60. And I'm just thinking about that stuff. I remember you talked about that like maybe a month or two, something like a while ago, and I maybe saw a video or two on it, and I'm like, okay, that's that's nothing to worry about. And then then I hear about another one, and now it's up to I'm like.
Well, I'm not sure yet. Okay, like for example, you hear often reported that there's reports of more bad weather than we've ever had before. This is proof of climate change. That's not true. There's more high tech cameras and things, and some guy could be on a rowboat in Tahiti and show a typhoon that you never would have heard about before. And oh my goodness, there's a typhoon. You understand what I mean? Like for example, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where we're at, Fort Lauderdale is one of the points of the Bermuda Triangle. Remember all the missing planes and everything, boats? Do you know what the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is? Why so many went missing in the Bermuda Triangle over the centuries? I know the answer. Hurricane season. We're in hurricane season. Hurricanes. And I have lived in South Florida. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I moved there when I was 13 in 1984. I didn't know anyone who disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. Right? People used to disappear a long time ago before we had modern weather prediction and things. So most times nobody has declared that. I'm declaring that. But, that it's hurricane season and hurricanes. But it makes sense. You think, what are there, space aliens out there in the Bahamas? Come on. We take our cruises every year where we go through, we're going to 2 points of the Bermuda Triangle. We're leaving out of Fort Lauderdale and going to San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's one of the other points of the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know, when's the last time you heard about a mysterious cruise ship disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle? Never heard of it, exactly. So most conspiracies are simple explanations is what I'm telling you.
Quick question. How far are you from your offices? Are you far from Meisner Park? Is that even still there, Meisner Park?
Oh, yeah. I can see Meisner Park out of one of the station manager's window.
There back in 91. I was a bartender at Bocce.
I've got a story that something happened to me at Meisner Park around that time that I cannot tell on the radio. I would love to tell the story on the radio. I cannot tell. William Youngerman's office is next to Meisner Park. Yeah, so yeah, it's right down the street.
There, Steve, did you ever go to Bocce?
Bocce.
No? Nice little Italian, at the time it was an Italian restaurant and stuff.
Yeah.
I was in the restaurants, what I did. I also worked at a place, I think it's been burnt down though, that was down the street from Hillsborough a little bit, called Krabby Jack's.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. So you're an old local. You're an old local. You should come back. Oh, okay. Well, listen, I got to run. Thanks for the call. All right, take care. I'll tell you the story off the air about my Meisner Park experience. I'll tell you this. It involved Chris Everett Lloyd, the tennis player. I know it sounds interesting. It is a very interesting story, but I'm not telling anyone on the radio.
Tell it.
I'll tell you what, if you go on our cruise, I'll tell the story on the cruise, but I will not tell it on the radio. Me and Chris Everett Lloyd at Meisner Park in Boca in 1990-something. During the time I've known you. All right. Yeah, it's a long time. All right, but listen, you guys can fantasize about me and Chris Everett Lloyd at Meisner Park in the 90s. We're going to take a break and be back.
Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental is the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show. For good reason.
Steve Kane Show.
Great work at affordable prices.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. My wife knows this story. I've told her this story probably a bunch of times.
Had a great experience and makes you feel very comfortable.
I would love to tell the story, but it's not gonna be told.
I thank you guys very much. Have a great one.
Dr. Gupta, the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show. Make Dr. Gupta the official official dentist of your family. Give them a call. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Online, BrightonDentalCare.com.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-F-3782.
Show has flown by. All right. The phones are cooking on Open Phone Friday here. You want to take some more calls, or what do you want to do? All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Andre from Plantation.
Hey, what's up?
So I was listening to the previous caller about the student loans.
Mm-hmm.
From Jamaica also, and I came here. I have student loans. And what he was talking about, the forbearance, and he mentioned the public student loan forgiveness, the 10-year payments, the 120 payments, then the balance gets forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that from also, and that's if you work for a government agency or a non-profit, you can get your loans forgiven after 10 years.
Well, it doesn't sound like a non-profit. It sounds like you're profiting a lot by that. Well, that's a bad system.
That's what the government gives.
Why am I hearing? It's amazing. Why am I hearing from 2 immigrants on how to scam the federal government out of money when I'm working my tail off? I mean, it's two guys with accents and immigrants telling me how to scam the system, Steve.
And why is it a scam if the government offers this program?
Well, the government does a lot of things that, look at what's going on with Ukraine. This Ukraine funding is a scam.
A lot of things. The government does a lot of things, especially the Democrats, to buy votes.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people out there that, like, for example, I was watching. Oh, you got a baby in the background, so I'll be nice. You got a little kid in the background. Okay, say hello. How old's your daughter?
She's 6 months.
6 months old. Oh, hey, you having any problems finding baby formula? How's the baby formula search going?
We had stocked up on it before it started getting short.
Oh, you stocked up? Oh, okay. So, you stocked up. Okay, so you stopped other people from being able to feed their babies. Okay, that's okay. But I do the same thing. It is what it is. I know. You'd rather someone else's baby go hungry than your own. Exactly. But no. Listen, there are lots of... I was watching a special on the local news here in Palm Beach County last week about the rents. And they were interviewing people that are homeless and living in their cars because their rents have gone up. And these are people that have never had a problem in their life. And they had some government officials telling them about this government program and this thing and that thing. And these people don't know anything about it because they've worked their whole lives and never took anything from the government before. There are people like you and the other Jamaican caller that know ways to work the system. It may be legal, but it's still scamming the system to get free college education and get free money. It doesn't make it right because it doesn't mean it's not a racket. I don't know. I did not know. I mean, I guess I'm stupid. I worked hard and paid for my own college education. I guess I'm a fool.
Well, I mean...
I didn't know how to scam the system like the Jamaicans do.
Programs offered by the government, I mean, what?
Oh, my goodness. Oh my! What do they do? Drop down leaflets over the island of Jamaica?
Everyone knows about it.
In Jamaica? No.
U.S.
No. Did you know? Did you know about this racket, Steve, of getting loans and not having to pay them back? I didn't know about it.
And as a matter of fact, I'm not sure if you know, but all federal loans are in forbearance.
Yeah. Listen, there are people who spend their whole life gaming the system. There's one guy that calls this show all the time. He calls himself Ford, and that's his name. But he's a convicted felon who's been to the penitentiary many times, or at least more than once. He's been in jail many times, and he's a veteran. He served in the Army for 2 years in the 1970s. This guy has more degrees and certifications than anybody I've ever known, and he doesn't have a job the whole time because he knows how to scam the Veterans Administration to get free crap all the time because he did 2 years of service, like in '78 or something. You understand what I mean? There's a lot of people like you, like this caller of ours, that know how the system works and can game the system and get all kinds of free stuff. It doesn't mean that you're not stealing from taxpayers who work hard and do things right.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, right? Let's say the government came up with a program where, on your mortgage, for example, let's say the government said, pay your mortgage for 20 years, don't miss any payment, and we'll pay off the last 10 years. Would you sign up for that program?
I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Well, a lot of people want to, yeah. No, it is stealing because the government does not make money. They make the paper money and the coins. I don't mean make it that way. They're not in a business of profit. What the government does is force working people under penalty of prison and other things. They steal money from us. They take our money, the government, right? And then they give it to people like you.
I'm happy you said that because I want to bring up another point. So the $40 billion that just went to Ukraine, don't you think it would be better to give that money to people in the U.S., whether in the... I think
no, not student loan forgiveness, no. Listen, you give it back to people through tax breaks. It's not the government's money. It's our money.
It wouldn't be better for you to put it in the U.S. somehow than send it to Ukraine, in whatever form in the U.S.
I don't think they should be giving money to the Ukraine like this. No, they should give us tax breaks.
I don't agree with it either. Right, so what I'm saying is, so if you had an option of giving it to Ukraine or...
Yeah, but you're always looking for the government to give you something. You got your hand out for the government all the time. You're just a step away from a welfare king.
But if they're giving it out, why not take it? That's my question.
Because it's not right.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're doing it, so I guess we need to change the government.
It's the difference between being a Republican and being a Democrat, sir.
Yes. You think like a Democrat.
It's a different way of looking at the world.
And you and your Jamaican patriot, I don't know what, your Jamaican friend that called earlier, I'm telling you, people in this listening audience are pissed off right now to hear two people that are immigrants to this country, that have foreign accents, that are scamming the system, they're gaming the system, and getting a whole bunch of free stuff off their hardworking tax dollars. That pisses people off. Working Americans work 3, 4, 5 months a year just to pay taxes.
You understand that, sir?
I do.
All right.
Yeah. How much was your tax return this year?
A little over $3,000.
You got $3,000 back. What do you think my tax return was?
I don't know.
Guess. You got $3,000 back. What do you think my tax return was?
1,000.
1,000? Guess again.
500.
500? No. My tax return was, you owe us money. Send your check here. And I wrote a check.
You weren't paying enough taxes?
I wasn't paying enough taxes. Oh my God. No, I work too much. See, if I was freeloading, like you guys with all your student loans and everything and scamming the system, I haven't gotten a tax return since I've been married.
I'm not sure.
Maybe they're not withholding enough. Oh my goodness. All right. Thanks for the call. Oh my goodness. These people are on other planets, Steve.
Unreal.
It didn't even occur to him when I asked the question that I don't get tax returns. And you know what? Most of the people I know don't get tax returns. They owe.
It's an interesting question that I raised, though. How many, with this quid pro quo that Biden has set?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It looks like he's building up a great support among Jamaican immigrants, at least here in our audience.
We ascertained that. We haven't really ascertained that people are following.
Yeah.
Voting Democrat.
Well, listen, yeah, the phones are on fire, and while it is open phones on Friday, we're going to take our break, come back, talk to William Youngerman. But I'd like to hear some people's thoughts on the freeloading Jamaicans that called in today, who know how to game the system and just get through life with free stuff all the time. I want to hear what some people's thoughts are about them. That's what, Steve?
Trying to create trouble is what you're trying to do.
What are we going to have a rift with Jamaica now? Am I going to cause an international incident with Jamaica? We won't be able to go to Jamaica on our cruises. All right. Well, hey, Ian for Cruise and Travel Depot. No cruises to Jamaica. The Steve Kane Show is not welcome. They're putting us on the list.
Night sucking.
Oh.
Anymore. Famous left wingers.
Is he still with us? Did he pass away?
He's alive and kicking. The last I heard.
When was that though, Steve? 73? I don't know. All right, listen. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
This is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals.
There's great calls.
Tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I get you incredible deals. Friendly Tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices.
Hey there.
My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642 or online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated right here in Boca with the last look of the week at the gold and other precious metals market. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Looking pretty good. Yesterday's big gains. Gold closed up $22 yesterday, closing at $1,868.50 the ounce. We actually got over $1,870 at one point. Silver was up 45 cents at $22.20 the ounce. Platinum closed up $24 at $1,021, and palladium was up $46 at $1,990. Stronger dollar this morning pushed gold and the metals down a little bit. Gold's losing $10 of its gains from yesterday. Right now at $1,858.50. Silver down 6 cents at $22.20. Platinum up $1 at $1,022. And palladium down $20 right now at $1,970. As I said, we got a strong dollar based on the jobs report that came out this morning, and things are looking still very strong for the precious metals. A lot of buying.
Well, yeah, because, everyone knows we're going to have even more inflation, and you invest your dollar, which is going to be worth less and less as time goes on, into the metals, it's actually not only holding but gaining its value in the long run. It's a great deal. And I remember, we got this tropical storm coming. I remember when we first met you, William Youngerman, was right after Hurricane Wilma, and we had no electricity. And here you got no electricity, and you were open for business, and people were coming in and doing their business even with no electricity.
A lot of the banks were closed and closed for weeks after some of these events, and people had no way to get money out. The insurance companies weren't paying immediately on some of their fix and repairs. They had to get money. They brought their gold or their silver in and got immediate cash from us, and we were able to help a lot of our customers.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely right. Now, William Youngerman is located right here in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can find them online at williamyoungerman.com or give them a call. They open up at 10 a.m. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, have a great weekend, William Youngerman. We will talk on Monday.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, only one opening on the board and not a lot of time left, so let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes.
Me?
Sounds like you.
It's Irene from years back. I haven't called you in a long, long time.
Oh, good to hear from you.
Way to work.
Hello, Irene.
Thank God. Hi, how are you, Steve? We used to go to Barnard. Okay, anyway, I won't remind you of that. I've been listening to the program, the guy from Jamaica, and the thing with paying off the loans. There's a couple of serious points. Number one, Biden does not have the right to do that. That's Congress's job. That's number one. Number two, what the hell is number two? It's a contract. Contract law. He can't change a contract. These people sign contracts agreeing to repay this. They can't just say, oh, the government says that I don't have to do it, and so it's gone. It's not going to happen. And when we take back the Congress in January of the next year, 23, I pray to God that the Republicans grow a pair and put an end to all of this.
Yeah. All right, Irene. Take care. Thanks for calling. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. Once.
Hello. Are you there?
Yeah. Are you there?
Hey, good morning, Brian and Steve. How you guys doing? This is Storm and Norman from Davie. How you doing, buddy?
All right.
Awesome. Hey, listen. My wife had a student loan. It took us 26 years to pay it off, but we paid it off. Not only did we pay that off, we got out of debt-free. And that happened in 2018. We saved up, and now we bought our first house together about 6 months ago. So there should be no reason why anybody should sit there and say, oh, I'm not paying the loan back. And then what is insulting to us is nobody gave us help. The only help they gave us was, oh, put your loan in forbearance. You could pay it later. And that's what we had to do because we ran into some hard times. But I found out a lot of these people who come into this country, they're taught, hey, listen, take out this. You don't have to pay it back. Don't worry.
Well, the two Jamaican callers have their loans in forbearance, hoping that they're just forgiven by Biden.
Contract, you got to pay that. That's what they told us. It's one thing you can't write off if you file bankruptcy.
Well, these two callers. I'm glad these two guys called in. See, this is what's going on at the southern border in a different way. You've got people that are coming from, they're a peasant class in these third world countries, and they're coming here where everything's given to you, and they know to come here, and first thing they do is game the system. I'm scared for my safety back in Nicaragua. I need to be here. It's unsafe. They know the whole racket to get here and get their free housing, and their free this, and their free that. That's
the problem.
That's it's going on at the southern border. Just what's going on with these two Jamaican callers from today.
Right. When things get straightened out. Hold on. When things get straightened out in the next election, be able to set this straight.
Well, the Democrats are going to use this student loan forgiveness for many years to come in elections. This is a very this is a popular thing among the freeloading class. So they're going to be.
Interesting question you raised, though, about Congress. Did they have to get it past Congress? Bearing in mind that we'll have a different Congress next time.
I don't know. I don't know.
Laid off back with that last thing we had back in '06 with the housing boom going crazy. I lost my job. When I went down to file for benefits, they told me, "Oh, you made too much money last year." And I'm like, "Well, wait a minute. Half these people, the Cubans, are coming here touching ground, and they're getting my benefits.
Yes.
I don't get it. I paid into this. How come they're getting it and I'm not?" I said, "Their kids eat while mine starve." I kind of messed up.
That's correct.
Told me this. The lady that actually told me this, I started a landscaping business. She became one of my customers. And I looked at her. I said, "I know you from somewhere." And she said, "Yeah, you look familiar too." I said, "Where do you work?" She told me she worked at the thing to help you get a job. I said, "That place is corrupt." I said, "I went in there to look for a job, and all you guys wanted me to do is take out more loans to go to school."
Yeah.
It's a scam.
Well, and I'll tell you, this is the thing, and listen, I have nothing against. I'm very surprised by those callers because, as a group, American blacks as a group are mostly liberal, right? But when you're talking to blacks from the Caribbean, you usually find good conservative people. And I was very surprised to hear two callers from Jamaica talking that way, because usually Jamaicans are very conservative and everything else. But see, the people come from these very poor countries. Jamaica is a very poor country with high crime, and is a tourist spot for the cruise ships. And of course, we know what's going on in South America. And America is the #1 economy in the world. It still is, even with Biden wrecking it after Obama wrecked it for a while. And they come here, and it's just, they know all this free stuff. It's like winning the lottery to immigrants from these very poor third world countries. And those callers right there, those are disturbing to me. I feel like a chump.
Assaulted by. You remember when Miami, the hospital down in Miami, was getting ready to file bankruptcy because they said a lot of people get in there and get treated, and they knew that they can't.
Let me give you an example. This government, these people know how to. Okay, the intercontinental. I'll give you a great example. Okay, here in Florida, where do the rockets take off?
What is that thing? Cape Canaveral.
That's correct. Now, when Tom Hanks ran into trouble on the way to the moon, what did he say? Famous line.
Oh, I don't even know.
Got a problem.
Houston, we've got a problem. Why do you think it's odd that the rockets take off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and then after launch, all of a sudden they're talking to another space center in Texas? Why don't they do it both they take off in Florida because if there's an accident, they got the ocean to crash in? Why do you think they don't have this? We have two space centers. Why do you think there's two space centers? One in Florida, and then all of a sudden a huge one over there in Texas. Why don't they? Why isn't it Florida? I got a problem. Why is it Houston? Well, I'll tell you why. The seniors when they were forming NASA, the senior senator that had to approve it was the senator from Texas, Lyndon Johnson, who gave us the death of the Vietnam War. And it's a government scam. Now, it's legal, but the reason that's how the government works. The Intercontinental Railroad, when they built that, the government made it in the 1800s. The government paid the railroad companies to build it by the mile. So you know what the railroad companies did? They paid them by the mile a track. You know what the railroad companies did?
What's that?
Go online and look up it zigzags all over the place. It doesn't go in a straight line. Because if you're zigzagging, you got more miles, and they're paying you by the mile. The government does they pay for all kinds of crap that's a scam. It's legal, I guess, they're the government, but it doesn't mean it's right. Like these bums with their student loans. Well, listen, we gotta run for a break, but for the end of the show. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, Exactly. If you're on hold, I'm sorry, we're out of time, but I want to tell you guys, listen, Father's Day is coming up, most important day of the year. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener specials. Take advantage of all the specials with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. But there's two, because I only have time to tell you about two, that are perfect for Father's Day. The MyPillow bathrobe, I have one of these. 30% off with the promo code Kane. There's not a MAGA dad in America who would not like to have one of Mike Lindell's MyPillow bathrobes. They're beautiful and comfortable too. The MyPillow My Slippers, regularly $139.98. With the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, just $49.98. $90 off. That's amazing. That's amazing. Perfect gift for Father's Day. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. 4879, promo code Kane. Steve, you got 10 seconds to sign us off.
This week, we will be back Monday to do it all over again. Join us. Be there or be square. Until then, God bless Donald Trump.
This is the Talk of South Florida, 95.3, 96.9, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG Live station.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I got to run. This is for Steve. I'm actually going to meet Steve this morning and give this to him. This is a tube. It's sealed. I can't open it. But I picked this up for him yesterday. This is a tube of silver 1-ounce coins. These are for Steve. They're not mine. I wish they were. I picked these up for him from William Youngerman because William Youngerman's down the street from the radio station. And Steve lives far away. So I'm going to give these to him this morning. There are 25 1-ounce silver coins in here. And these are the Australian kangaroos. They're pretty cool, huh? It's heavy too. Listen. Sometimes I usually show them to everybody when I pick them up for Steve, but they're sealed. So they're like brand new, so I don't want to. Pretty cool, huh? All right, guys, listen. Thanks for. I wish they were mine. They're heavy too. It's 25 ounces of silver right here. Listen, everyone, thanks for watching, and if you're new here, please subscribe, and everyone, before you go, like the video. And if you don't see me over the weekend, it's because of the tropical storm. I am going to try to put up some video and exclusive content for the members over the weekend, and I'll try to live stream over the weekend, but because of the tropical storm coming, I'm not sure that 100% I'll be there, so click the notification bells and look out for me over the weekend, all right? So I want to welcome all the new members, thank the members, and I want to thank the moderators. You know, the moderators make the show so much better because I'm not distracted by having to pay attention to the trolls in the chat. And the moderators allow me to focus my whole brain on the program. So it makes life a lot easier and I think it makes the show a whole lot better. So thank you so much to the moderators, and everyone, if you could thank the moderators too, that'd be very much appreciated because they're volunteers. Oh man, just putting everything away for the weekend, and yeah, we're getting all new studios built here at the radio station too, which I'm very much looking forward to. They're going to build brand new, state-of-the-art, the most modern radio studios that exist here at the radio station. All of our studios they're totally gutting everything and replacing them. And when they do that, I'll make a vlog so you all can get a detailed tour of it. All right, guys, I got to run. Thanks so much. I'll see